They're building a raid tower inside the compound. And Llama's here. And no! Oh no!
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Rustoria Base Invaders, brought to you by Rustoria servers and sponsored by RustyPod. My name is Llama77, and I'm joined today in the casting booth by the one and only Jamerson. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. It's Super Bowl Sunday, but before we get there, we got to get through Base Invaders first. It's 4v4 today, and I'm so excited because, my introduction to Base Invaders and being able to cast it, I got to cast some big groups, right? 7v7, 6v6, but 4v4, that's going to be a completely different beast.
Completely different beast here, 4v4s, like you were saying. And talking a little bit about the format, these players have already had some time to build up their bases, 45 minutes to be exact, where really you can't do any PvP. It's just about building, farming those resources up. They'll now have 30 minutes in this attack phase where you can get some PvP off, but not completely raid the bases. And then once this attack phase is over, it's the phase everybody likes, the action phase, an hour and a half to go off and raid some other bases.
Yeah, that's right. We have 30 minutes, and there are multiple objectives that you can go for. Of course, PvP kills will count. Every single one, like we just got right there coming out from Yogi. Finding one pick off onto a low-high member, we'll get them that 1 point. But we've got the patrol helicopters, 3 rounds of those. Every 10 minutes we'll be spawning, and whenever you pick up those crates, you'll be getting extra points. We even have a hard point active as well.
That hard point is huge. Been added just a couple weeks ago and has added kind of a new angle for these players. Will only be active in the attack phase, but every 30 seconds you hold this hard point is an extra 2 points towards your name. So that is just, if you can hold it, we've seen teams hold it throughout this entire attack phase. It is a large chunk of points that you can give to yourself that can give you a large advantage. But obviously, if there's another team that walks in and kind of contests it, nobody gets points. But if you retake it, then you'll continue to get points.
Oh, this is interesting. And so we got our first patrol helicopter just off the coast. No one's taking it down quite yet, but we have a lot of bases nearby. If Eki Paguri can take it down a little bit safer instead of more inland, this could be defensible, but it is starting to veer towards the other bases in the area.
It's looking to kind of fly a little bit away. And obviously that patrol helicopter going to be, those crates take a little bit. They light themselves on fire, and those fires do take a little bit of time to expire. But once they do, that is 15 points up for grabs, 3 on each crate. You just have to get in, you have to touch them, you have to loot them real quick. And so any team that can make their way over, like you said, there are a couple teams around that might want these points early on.
Yeah, there's, I think, like 4 bases around this patrol helicopter right now, and it also dropped next to a monument. So it's going to be difficult for some teams to try and get up with them with some walls to try and secure these points. But with 4 teams around, you have to imagine that they are all eyeing it up. It's the PvP points you'll get along the way as well. You can see, 3 bases there, 1 off to the side as well. But right now, it's all about the PvP.
Yeah, all about the PvP for sure. Get one of those points for each one of those kills you get on a kitted member, and it's very, very huge also to get these. But, you talk about 4-mans. You talk about you've been casting the smaller or the bigger, types of groups, those 7s, those 8s, and whatnot. But, going into 4s, it's kind of interesting. It'll be an interesting chess game that we see throughout the day that you don't have as many members, obviously. But that means, what do you do with your members? Because you can't really commit, 2 players to a raid. That's not really going to get you any success. If you commit all 4, all of a sudden, your base is vulnerable. So it's going to be really interesting to see, how they commit these players, how they commit these resources.
Yeah, every single life matters at that point, right? When you only have 4 people that you can actually send to a raid or try to counter a raid, every single person that's alive matters, the bag timers matter, and the position that you have to play, especially when you're raiding, right? Maybe you keep 1 person on the inside, 2 people breaching. How exactly do you split apart the resources at that point? It's so difficult because the margin of error when you come down to these 4v4s has to be extremely tight.
It's tight, and we know all the teams in 44s, they like to get aggressive. There's also, there's going to be more teams, so there is some more points technically up on the board up for grabs. So I imagine there's going to be a little bit higher scoring with these 4v4. So if you're falling behind, if you are not one of those aggressive teams, you're going to fall behind very, very quickly.
Speaking of the aggressive team, it was Team Runa actually that ended up pushing out onto this heli first. And so we noted it, it's basically landed. The patrol helicopter has or went down in between these four bases, but Runa ended up losing out on 2. This is a huge opportunity now. About another minute or so before those crates are active, and Runa only have 1 member here remaining.
They do have some walls to help protect them. They are the closest to it as well, so hopefully trying to get some members out. But it's like you said, losing those firefights early, not the greatest thing. And those fires still definitely blazing on the top of that attack helicopter. 5 minutes into the attack phase, we already got some teams that are on our leaderboard. 22 points for TVSS right now. Everybody else kind of wandering around that 10-point margin. So not a huge lead. I would imagine TVSS, when we get a chance, are kind of holding the hard point, I'd have to imagine.
Yeah, Bruna losing out on the last member, so that creates the opportunity for Tutu to actually push on up. They are basically right on top of this, but you can take a look at Eki Paguri. That is going to be difficult to say all day long. But they have 3 members outside of their base right now, but the defensive setup is here. Really, the only thing they can hope for is that maybe someone just backstab Tutu. There are 2 bases that have angles on them from the flank, so it is a little bit dangerous for Tutu to be playing out there, but it looks like they are just going for those points.
Yeah, they got a lot of angles to watch. There are so many teams around that there's a player up on the hill that they definitely recognize, a player that they had to get rezzed as well. So, just a lot of angles for them to watch. They're still a little bit away from this helicopter. The other team definitely having an advantage over it, can look over it as well. But they're going to make the final push. They know those fires are expiring soon. That is 15 points up for grabs. So they're going to lay down some cover fire as the rest of their team pushes on forward and tries to build some walls along the way.
Yeah, Runa going back on out. They've got their walls out, and oh my goodness, this has looked like a hard point itself. I mean, take a look at all the builds going down, but you can see that Tutu, they just have the aim, they have the angles. I love the crossfire that they got set up, but that does leave them a little bit vulnerable. Runa was able to take out 1 on the left-hand side, so now there's only the 2. Yogi and it goes actually going down. So it's just up to Yogi to try and keep this alive for his squad. You can see almost all the teams that are trying to contest this patrol helicopter, they are losing out on members. It's creating an opening for more teams to show up. The IDB even trying to get involved in this.
Yeah, so many teams here. The fires are going to expire here. So if you run up, if you grab the loot from them, that will guarantee you the points. It doesn't matter who had control over them if you're the one to touch it. Reno, though, they want to swing out. They want to gain some more space here, taking some damage while they're doing so. But they have a nice little, wall built up here. They take a little bit more damage onto some of their members. But finally deciding to swing it, and swinging into 2 members, not the greatest idea.
Swung into 3, it looks like. He does end up getting 1, and so that's a little bit of presence going down, but Tutu still set up on this point. You can see 1 member running back from the flank actually catches the IDB members trying to get involved. So Yogi on the run back is going to play defense in the back line here. Unfortunately, that means there's less presence. Oh my gosh, I was thinking maybe someone goes in with the heli just to get on top of those boxes, but that's going to be cool going down as soon as he lands. Arena actually gaining full control basically over here, but no one's ready to push into no man's land quite yet.
Yeah, I mean, if you go out and you touch those, it is a lot of people going to be looking at you, but if you touch any of them, you gain the points for them. So I'm surprised, like you said, that no one is running out to do it. But, we talk about time. Time is already, 10 minutes-ish gone already. Time, one of the biggest resources that these teams have that will expire quicker than anything else. And, the time that you're spending here on the helicopter, yes, it could possibly be getting you points, but that is time that is not going to be used to be gaining information, to be doing other things.
Yeah, fantastic. It looks like it's going to be Tutu that end up getting these points for themselves. That's at least 4 crates that he was able to pick up, and he gets the M2 off it as well. That's going to be a nice little pickup for him. It's not just the points, the loot. So you have to remember that this is like basically a 20x server, and so you can get some amazing amounts of loot, amazing amount of boom that you don't have to craft yourself. And with 20 minutes left to go, you can go straight into raiding.
That is the hope. Get yourself some of that loot. Obviously, that loot going to be on the ground for the team of 2-2. Maybe they can recover it as this war zone starts to fizzle itself out. Again, TVSS still holding down the first place spot, but 2-2, again, with grabbing those crates, going to put themselves in a solid second place. As a reminder, the team that, finishes first at the top 10 at the end of this attack phase is going to get that extra 10 points to boost themselves just a little bit ahead.
All right, Ping Diff was that team, I believe, that was coming out from water, and now they are pushing out. And at this point, even though they've lost out on the points from the objective, you can still get the PvP kills. And with what, about 4, maybe 5 teams here, that is maybe 20 points up for grabs for them. Ruina making the second pass. Looks like they heard the M2, and we all know what it's like when you hear an M2 out in the open, out on the ground of all places, right? When you hear an M2 on the roof, you're okay. All right, I can't do much about it. But you hear it on the ground, you want to go ahead and get that.
I would actually run the other way. I'm good. I don't want to fight that, please. If they want to fight it here, it is once again just picking up the kills. It's like you said, they're staying here because there are so many teams. They can pick up these kills, but they're gonna start to get their members back. Hopefully, get some of this loot back as well. And once again, you got 20 minutes left in the attack phase. This is a majority of the time. It needs to be spent not only to finish your base off if it is not fully built up to that metal, but scouting other bases is such an important thing. If you scout an easy base, it could possibly be 40 points that put you way in the lead right into the beginning of the raid phase.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, especially when we're not fighting over these objectives, or if you don't have one near you, you'll see teams actually try to find a weakness on a base, right? They'll try to get into the compound, maybe get in control of their roof, and then just kind of hold it down for the entirety of the attack phase so that they can immediately go into raiding. But as we go ahead and check on some teams, it looks like, yeah, some people will go ahead and continue to loot on out. We are over here at launch site right now. We'll see if Nerm can find anything. We do have some PvP actually going out over here. It looks like it's going to be low high on the other side of this one. 2 of them caught behind of that. Someone up top as well. And the points are coming in for Too Sexy.
Points are coming in. Trades coming through here. Beautiful shots coming through there. Like you said, just trying to secure some loot here. Just trying to make sure they are fully looted up. Boom and everything as well to get themselves ready to go for the raiding phase. They got multiple angles though. Okay, I thought he jumped off. Nonetheless, he's fine.
Yeah, we're seeing the early leads coming out, though. TVSS with 36 points. I'm wondering if they're just kind of camping over by the hard points. We know that, yeah, you can get a lot of points there, like you said. As long as you're controlling it, you are passively getting points. And every time someone tries to come in and try and contest you for it, well, those are free points, too. Looks like the second patrol helicopter coming in from the south-hand side, this time around launch site. So we already saw Too Sexy already up there, up high. So they'll have a nice angle to try and tag it and take it down.
They'll have some good shots to hit that one as well. There's a lot of teams, though. I mean, with 4s, we know there's going to be a lot of teams, but that map, very, very packed. So once again, I think it's not going to be, anyone's free helicopter. We see that sometimes in the past, where it's one team sitting on the coast, they get the free shots, they take it down, lands right on their base, and it gives them the free 15 points. But because there are so many teams around, it is going to be a multiple team fight here. So we'll see if one of these teams on the coast, though, is able to get some good shots on it.
Yeah, it's tagged and it's going to stay here. And so it's just going to be basically between these 2 squads, Sufath and Pelmeni, really contesting this one. And this is a little bit scary to try and fight over heli in this area if it ends up going down, because take a look at how many woods there are, how many forests there are. So that's going to be angles of approach for a lot of teams if they are in the area to try and contest this.
Yeah, there'd be so many angles. The forest. There's also, if it drops right there, it would literally be dropping inside of like a ravine with mountainside.
Oh, what?
Beautiful.
Shots. That is the freest heli.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that's 15 points going the way of Shoefaf. I mean, there's maybe some of their beds. I don't know if heli damage takes out beds, because we have to remember that no buildings can be destroyed from raiding during this phase. But I don't know if heli counts. But yeah, man, that was perfect.
Yeah. I mean, they talk about landing in a bad spot. Talk about landing in a good spot. And they perfectly just get it to land right inside their base. Don't know, like you said, if it'll do some destruction towards their base. But yeah, that's free 15 points. Very well planned and very well done.
Yeah, you get some free high qual as well. You got to make every last bit count, right? I feel like I'm one of the few people that still want to mine up the heli after it's all said and done, because I want that high qual.
It can just help build up your base a little bit more, make it just a little bit tougher. I mean, it is interesting that this team, they are a little bit near the coast. They're a little bit kind of away from some other teams. So it'll be interesting. I believe their first target, you have to take out your neighbors first. That's usually the rule, is take out the team closest to you. But, after that, where are they going to go? If they survive that raid, where are they going to go? Because it's going to be a longer travel distance where, some other teams maybe right next to the people they need to raid.
Yeah, so 3 teams in the area that we can see at this point. And it's going to be a nice little run up for whichever way Sufaf want to take their boom because, like we said, they have a lot of woods around them. That's going to be an easy approach. That means they have to use less walls on the approach. And no, sorry, actually out in the middle of kind of flat land. So this is a prime target for a lot of teams right now. But let's go ahead and look around the other sides of the map.
Gonna look around here. A team on the hill again. This team, like you said, they got a really good. They got the heli. The fire's still burning for them, but they'll have a good walk up. They have a lot of woods around them as well. So I'd also like to mention TVS. We keep mentioning them, but man, it just seems like they are just holding down that hard point, continually just getting themselves some points, and they're building themselves a nice first place lead. The question though I kind of have is, the past 2 weeks ish, we've seen in EU that there's a team that always holds this hard point for the whole entire time, then they don't win. They kind of slow down in that raid phase. So to this team, I mean, it's not only you have to get the hard point, you have to be scouting, you have to be doing all these other things that we've talked about to get yourself success in that raid phase.
Yeah, I think one of the important things about teams that kind of prioritize more of kind of establishing dominance over an early raid target during the attack phase is the simple fact that, like, if you get a TC within the first, minute, 2 minutes
Right.
of the raid phase, well, their boom is basically yours. And so you're able to, like, kind of snowball the raids over and over again because you're replenishing your boom. You're not actually, you're profiting essentially from every single raid. And so you get to go ahead and keep that momentum up. And the 40 points that come from a TC is absolutely tremendous. But we've seen teams in the past be able to get 5, 6, 7 raids done throughout the raid phase. And that is no small feat.
It's not, and it's like you said, it is that those experienced players recognizing how this base is designed, what its weaknesses are, how we can rate it, how to succeed in that. Because it is not necessarily the design of the base; it is the how the defend, either the team defending how they defend, or the team attacking how they attack. You've talked about it before, in fours especially. It's very important how you put your players forward. Having maybe 2 players in the back, 1 player on each side, doing different things, and maybe having 1 player, listening, keeping that, eagle ear to try and listen to right near their base in case there is any boom going down.
Big Kahuna, I was able to cast them a couple weeks ago as well. And they built very similarly here, right on top of a hill. I believe they were just getting raided the entire raid phase, but because of the geography of how they built, they were able to easily defend. Right now, though, this is the attack phase, and a nice little triangle built up on the VG members, but in trying to finish them off, they got kind of baited into this fight, and Equinox does wall himself in, but he's going to keep himself alive. Gangnam showing up for this one as well to try and pick up the stragglers of this fight.
Yeah, there's only 1 left, but they're gonna. Oh, he's in the triangle. Don't know if they'll find him. Finally swinging on through. We'll find it. The trade is there. The HP going down. And it'll be 1 kill. That's all that's picked up. But nonetheless, they'll take control of these triangles. But it's like you said, Big Kahuna up on that nice high ground. They're also pushing some of their players out to try and just clear out some of these VG players as well. But Ducky might be in a little bit of trouble here, up to 100 HP. But swinging around the corner, a firefight. The Ducky will be quacking.
Yeah, he hears him. That is such an easy swing for him. You can hear him crouch walking up there. But Gangnam, they have 2 members inside right now. VG trying to get some revenge, as they're a little bit low on HP. He's got to be careful as he goes for this swing and somehow survives 4 HP. He's about to bleed out. He needs to go for this swing at this point. It looks like he will ultimately go down in this fight. I love the snow PvP.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's nice to see. But VG also, ooh, right over the rock there. Some angles still from Big Kahuna. But yeah, a lot of coverage actually with these trees and with these walls. So team's just trying to find some space forward, trying to, get some PvP points. That's what this attack phase is all about, getting 1 of those for each of those kills. And obviously, that just boosts you higher and higher on the scoreboard.
Wow. We got 36 teams signed up for this event. That is absolutely amazing. It is fours. So what that puts us at a lot of players competing today. I'm super excited about this one because, like you mentioned it, right? When we have like the bigger groups, right? When it's the 6v6s, 7v7s, we're at about 20 bases. But with 36 TCs on the line, we're going to see some amazing score lines.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So many players, so many bases, so many points up for grabs for all these teams to try and get forward to. Talk about points. It is a squad of VG working well together. I love to see the communication between two players that, not only, again, you're on fours. You know that twos is just really strong. A double peek, a double swing, double angles, always stronger than just having one solo gun or one solo gun looking which way. So they're going to keep pushing. They're going to be looking for more kills here, as it looks like they're trying to target Big Kahuna as their first target. So Big Kahuna is doing a good job of just getting a point defense out, making sure that, if you want to push up this high ground, you have to go through us. You have to go through these other players. But, VG's starting to kind of go into their territory.
Humpty Dumpty finds one. He might actually be able to get the second. Needs to heal up, though, but he gets peeked by another member. Survives with that wall down for just a moment. Wow, that's some quick reactions coming out from Humpty, but he's got to be careful, as it looks like another member is ready to swing on in, but he's got the coverage from behind. His teammates are here for him. Wallpeaker living up to his name, tried his best, but now he is getting surrounded, pinched from either side.
Yeah, I'm getting pinched. I didn't get one, though. Trying to swing it back. It's the second. Oh, the 2v1. It is beautiful. Brings a tear to my eye.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate because it's hard to kind of navigate, when you have these mazes of walls, right? They try to go for the double peak there, and that was basically, just standard FPS, right? You go for the trades. Unfortunately, he was just ready for them, funnel them into one angle there, and we're able to take them out. So VG getting some great points. They are now in 8th place here during the attack phase with 30. Not too far behind our leaders, TVSS, who are sitting in first place with 50.
And that's an important thing. I think TVSS, they've had maybe a little bit of trouble maybe holding down that hard point. Obviously, if another team comes in and contests it, you earn no points while that other team is on. We've seen even last week that some teams will just be like, okay, we're gonna put one of our members, don't take any gear, go just stand and hide in the hard point so that this top team doesn't earn any points. And while we're doing that, our other 3 players, well, they can go walk out, they can go explore. It actually looks like TVSS not holding the hard point actually pushed on out of it. So other teams going to be earning points.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna attempt to try and read this team name, FG. Yeah, we'll just stick with that. It looks like they do have full control of it. All 4 members actually in here. So I wonder if anyone could kind of maybe note that and try to find their base and start maybe taking away their roof. We've seen a lot of teams, they've got their scrappies, they've got their minis. If they don't have roof control, they can, or if they don't have turrets up on their roofs, that could be very scary for them. And it looks like, yeah, the base is completely free. TVSS does have angles over it.
Smartly building next towards that hard point. But also, it is interesting to mention, obviously, last patrol helicopter going to be inbound. But you mentioned it that, you talk about the team in 9th place. You talk about these top teams in the top 10. It is all so close. I mean, usually we see someone in the attack phase go out to a 30, 40 point lead. But no, it is like everybody within 5 or 10 points of the place above them. That is 1 TC, and you probably get yourself into first.
Yeah, our top 5 only split by 12. You can see No Sorry there in 5th place, actually tied with Ruina. That was one of the teams that was trying to contest over the patrol helicopter loot earlier on, but looks like our 3rd one is finally coming in for very heavy spots. As we go back on over to water treatment, let's take a look at all the teams here. Team Suero. Nope, never mind. It is over here by Dome and water treatment. It's going to be Bastard actually fighting over this one. Suervo here as well, but they got to be careful. That attack heli coming in, forcing out a lot of walls. They need that coverage.
Yeah, can't just 1v1 that attack helicopter. That is not going to go out in your favor, but there we go. It will finally fall here. Going to fall again in the midst of a couple of teams, again in somewhat of a war zone. So 15 points up for grabs, though.
Yeah, that's going to be a difficult heli to try and walk up to because it's so close to Dome. I don't even know if he can get walls down out here. I feel like where Armin are currently, along with Bastard, that's basically where he can just build up to. And Bastard's going to go ahead and push up, take out KK, and now he just needs to hold this one down. But it looks like 2 Sexy are coming in, and we've seen them, of course. They've been really enjoying being able to take high ground. We'll see if anyone can get on top of Dome because that'll be the best angle to try and cover this from.
That would be huge. It wouldn't necessarily give you those crate points, but it would give you the coverage, the angles, the line of sight to help out even your teammates that might be pushing up towards it, but maybe just get some stray kills as well. But approaching 6 minutes left in the attack phase again, FG, they are pushing up, looking to try and overtake that first place position. And there you go. With those next points from the hard point, they will. TVSS, though, still sitting in second place, a good amount, never win in third as well. So a lot of teams very, very close together. And it is, I mean, chaos about to ensue here in 5 minutes.
Yeah, 260 are all over the place here, but again, they are doing a great job of just kind of setting up multiple angles of attack. It looks like they might actually be setting up early on. 5 minutes left to go. They
Yep.
already have a bed platform, and their first target is going to be IDB.
An interesting target. It's actually a really chunky base, I would like to say. It does have some weak points, not fully, it looks like, built up at some points. And the compound wall is interesting per se, but it's an interesting target. It would be a good one for them to take out, and getting some good kills early on, putting some time towards this, and like you said, building that raid platform to give yourselves the beds is one of the most important things. While the other team might still be, oh, it's attack phase, nobody's gonna raid us.
Yeah, IDB are scrambling to try and get set up for this defense. You can see that they know they have to worry about this one. One member actually trying to get out from the backside of the compound because two of them were basically being shut out. As it looks like, yeah, the rest of the fight, it's going to be Team Suero now regrouping as a full four-man to try and fight over these crates. But I don't know if that's going to be the greatest time for them because honestly, 4 minutes left to go. You do need to start setting up for a raid or seeing if anyone's going to try and raid you.
This is the time. We talked about it, that all of these teams very, very close together on the leaderboard. If you get one of those early raids, it not only gives you 40 points to jump up on the leaderboard, but it also gives you that boom, the all-important thing that is one of the most finite resources that you don't want to, if you're in the raid phase, you don't want like 30 minutes near the end to have to go out and farm. That is the worst feeling in the world. You want to snowball it like you were talking about it, get that boom from other bases, continue it on. And we've seen before, especially in fours, that there's the possibility of stealing a base. There could be a team working on it for 10, 15 minutes, and then some team just gets a lucky rocket and steals that TC away.
All right, Jamesy was trying to get this high ground on Dome, but he does hear one member of, I believe, Armin climbing on up. He's on the outside of the Dome currently. I would say
Ooh.
both of them are kind of aware that they are being challenged for this one. They're trying to keep eyes out, but I don't think Bozak is actually aware that Jamesy is here. Jamesy does definitely hear him like running around, and so this could be a free point for him. And again, just maintaining control over this heli loot. I believe a lot of the crates are active. Someone can run up to try and take it, but no one's ready to push out into no man's land there. Jamesy just holding that angle right now.
Yeah, waiting, seeing if you cross that line, you're going to be taken down. They're just don't know. They don't know yet. Jamesy holding a peek along with this other player. Finally, they look towards it. The Jamesy has to look the other way. Finally, the trade goes his way. Oh, recognize it. For that prize, you will gain the high ground.
Yeah, right there. That's one of those moments. Why did I jump? Why did I jump? Just that
Right.
small window creates the opportunity for Jamesy to actually win out on that duel. It's a couple bullets. That's the difference that jump makes here. As it looks like all the groups are now regrouping once again to try and get this last heli crate. 15 points are on the line right here. And for a lot of our squads, I don't even see most of them actually on the leaderboard currently. It's only Too Sexy, one of the teams contesting this one, that are currently in the top 10.
And importantly, this might be the time for these teams to go the other way because, you talk about this is the time to set up for a raid. This is the time to get going. And if you're more focused on 15 points rather than 40 points, it might not go so well.
Yeah, Zoo actually was able to creep up throughout all of that action, and he's getting all the points for himself right now. 2 more crates. I feel like maybe he's having difficulty finding that last crate because it is stuck underneath the heli there. They might not even want to go for that peak. So picks up an M2 for his troubles at the very least. And there we go, securing that last crate. That's going to put them at 45 points. But now as the attack phase is ending, they're actually 30 points basically behind FG, who have been controlling that hard point throughout this second half of the attack phase.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job to get themselves some points. And, you talk about points again. At the end of this attack phase, the leader will get that extra 10 points. I think it's going to be FG. I think they've done enough to secure that. So a good start for them. But obviously, we saw a lot of effort put in towards holding that hard point. Once again, it's going to be the question of, did you set up, did you gain enough information during this attack phase to get yourself ready for that raid phase?
Yeah, and we were guessing that it was TVSS that had control over it earlier on, but since they've lost it, They've only accrued maybe 5 or 6 points since they actually lost that hard point. So FG really taking advantage of that right now. 74 points going into the raid phase is a really strong start for them. Unfortunately for this squad, they were never able to get their compound down. And so now they are pretty much SOL here on this side of the base. And it's not even that large of a base, really. And, I guess for teams, they don't really have to expend too much boom to get through the compound wall anyhow. But you could want to try and make it as difficult as possible. Oh no! Oh, the attack line set up from FD, but they have lost control of their base, and this is really troubling because I see that one of their turrets are actually inside of their core, which means it's not on the roof, which means things are very difficult. And yeah, it was also offline, not powered.
Yeah, it is. It's not looking good. And also, by the
Oh,
way, observers can only go where we can see. So this means that all of this base
oh
is
no.
pretty much open because all the doors are open. Everything is open. Everything they're going to have to protect. And I assume that the TC is going to be behind one of those garage doors.
Yeah, Never Win is currently our second place team with 66 points. 6 seconds remaining here on the attack phase, and they already have the launchers on their back. They are ready to tear apart this base. C4 has gone down, and the raids are starting.
Yep, hard points no longer active. FG, they get the extra 10 points, but it is the C4 blowing through the other way this time. The turret again is still offline. And I think this might be it. There it is. C4 right away through the garage door. Once they destroy that, it'll just be a couple more rockets. There it is. They know where it is. And it is going to be HMS already eliminated, but we get the next one. Beautiful rocket,
Yeah.
beautiful finish.
2 teams already out, but with that early raid, Never Win propel themselves into first place. They are 9 points in the lead over No Sorry. FG, though, we talked about it. They were set up over at that hard point, and so they did get those points. But now we're going to see the snowball effect, I imagine, coming out from Team Never Win, who honestly, they're going to have so much boom out of that base.
They're going to get so much boom and also so many points. I mean, you talk about FG. They were in first. They were literally just leading in the attack phase. 2 teams get a TC, 1 and 2 right now.
Oh boy, and we get our next raid and take a look at this space. It doesn't look like it was actually completed or the doors have already been dealt with. But right now, is ready to try and sniff out this TC. It's going to be difficult though. In this meta right now with all these hallways, becomes so difficult unless you have a handful of C4 and there it goes.
I'm going to start destroying these doors. Obviously, it's like the advent calendar style. You open a door, you find another door, you find a wall, you find other things, and the TC could be behind any of them. Obviously, some teams will place it away from other teams where they're supposed to be booming. But yeah, we'll be using those nice Rustoria doors. Hopefully, those will help defend them, hopefully.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about. Why some teams just kind of forego going for some of the early objectives. But for TVSS, they're coming to counter raid this one. And this is going to be really difficult trying to boom in from the side because this is 4-man. When we were 6 or 7 or 8-man, right, you can have multiple rockets. And you can really deal with metal walls extremely fast. But when people are inside with C4, I feel like that is so much more effective.
Then, like you talked about, a lot of those doors are missing. So for them to just have all of that, that access gets blown up there. A nice kill. But yeah, it's going to be hard for them to just break into that outer shell of the base. We'll see if they can and maybe get themselves some access. But it's going to be the team inside that's going to have advantage on this one.
It sounds like they did bring multiple launchers at the very least. And so, yeah, they're kind of dealing with a lack of players by having more rocket launchers. And so they've already kind of put in maybe 20 rockets into the side of this base. But again, you can see why the honeycomb is so strong. They still have to deal with multiple triangles along the way. They've taken out roof access, but there's, almost no resistance coming out from this squad already because they've been contained by Team who've done a large bulk of the work and are keeping the defenders basically on back timer.
At this point, I believe one of those bottom doors is open. So if you went in this compound wall, you could give yourself easier access, use some of those rockets on the inside. But no, they are deciding to break through this outside instead of maybe going through those bottom doors, which it could pay off, it could not.
Yeah, this could be bad. If they don't end up winning this one, that's a lot of boom that they're actually committing onto this right now. But, the breach is coming out from TVSS. They are finally sending members in. There we go. Sober is going to go and push in along with Toxical. I believe they already have one member as well inside of the compound. It's going to be Steak that holds things down as the anchor on the outside. And this is what I'm talking about. When it comes down to fours, every single life matters. Steak on the outside, he is the one that needs to control the raid, needs to make sure that the respawns don't come in and their breachers are able to get work done.
Yeah, you have to protect those people on the inside. And I know you talked about, getting boom from the places you destroy. There's also the fact that, if you don't get boom, it's the anti-snowball where your snowball falls apart and it goes like up a hill and it starts breaking apart. Where if you spend so many rockets, so many C4, so much boom on a raid and you get nothing out of it, well, then you're going to be in a not great spot.
Yeah, and for Toxical, half the work was basically already done for them. The members that came in with the C4, they're going to be able to get those off the body as well. Toxical, ends up going down. Vibe ends up winning out on that duel. He had that nice little angle underneath and was able to take him out. And so that's going to slow down TVSS just a bit. You can see 3 members are still stuck outside. Sober, though, might be on the roof for his squad. We'll see if he can try and maybe gain control over this raid for them.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, again, it is not necessarily about the base. It is about the players inside, how they can defend it, how well they know it. And it seems like, they know it very, very well. They're getting so many kills here. Finally traded on out there. TVSS able to pick one off from the roof. But yeah, they're doing a decent job of holding them back. But again, 2 teams, especially in 4-mans, is a lot of players to defend from.
Yeah, I do love that Steak is just holding this position right now. Another base, though, it's going to be FG pushing in. I'm glad that they were able to pivot from the hard point, go straight into a raid. They have torn apart this base. A lot of the doors were left open as well, the garage doors too. So really, this is pretty easy for them to actually get through. There aren't too many more places for this TC to be.
No, there's not a lot of other places for it to be. They're going to be continuing looking, but it's like you said, it's the message we tell everybody. Don't leave your doors open because it gives free access towards your opponent. It takes 2 seconds to close a door. They're going to open another one for them. They'll hop back up and continue going. So that's a message to everyone. Close your doors.
Yeah, I think there's only 2 doors, maybe. Yeah, not many remaining at this point. You can see, I understand some teams want to make sure that they don't get helied in on, but I feel like having that roof access is just so much more important. You can see now they're starting to get through. A lot of the beds have been cleaned up by FG as well. This was our squad that was leading at the attack phase. They've dropped down about 21 points to never win, but a TC will go ahead and easily put them in the lead.
And it's the point that you talked about. It's the pivot. It's the pivot from the hard point, not just bank on those points, not just bank on the attack phase, but find your target here for the raid phase and make sure that you are running with these big dogs that have already put up a raid, that have already jumped above you. And if you can get this one, you'd retake your lead. It'd be a great confidence booster and a great points booster nonetheless.
Yeah, now that they're up here in the roof, it's just a matter of time. In the next minute, honestly, they should be able to find this TC. They're getting through all the doors right now, but sometimes it's going to be in the trickiest of places. But there it is. We spotted out the C4 going down, and that is going to be FG taking back the lead in just a moment.
Yeah, that is awesome. FG, they are going to take off ID row, and that's huge. That's huge. Back to first place, 15 points-ish above the next team, and they're going to get some boom. Again, they had a lot of doors open in that base, did not spend a lot, so they're going to be rich on boom. They're going to be good to go for their next raid.
Yeah, it was just so much for them. But now, as we move into Boltovka, excuse me, I believe that this was an illegal setup. I don't know. Got to check with the admins on that one. But for Team Na right now, they are basically stuck inside their base. Boltova is going to try and take roof control. You can see someone climbing up with the ladders. They've got the shooting floor access down, and they are in. That is full control of the roof coming out from Team Bolt.
That is a huge thing to have. Obviously, you control the roof. You control most of the base. Some BM there to end it up. But yeah, you own so many of the peaks now. You own so many of the angles. You also own, access to get down to those other floors, access to help out your other teammates, kind of get in from different directions. So we'll see what they do with this roof hold. Obviously, still a little bit of a chunky base, and we'll hop on over towards some other raids that are going down, some counter raids. Again, a lot of teams with 4-man, so these areas going to be very packed.
Yeah, Rena trying to defend right now from Ekipaguri. I believe this is one of the squads that they were contesting for that first patrol of the day. Their compound has been cracked on open. You can see that some members are trying to push out from Team Marina. This is why it's so important to maintain that roof control, having that angle. Even though you trade, maybe you're slowing down the raiders. And we know when it comes to raids, what you really need to do is just buy time, slow things down, slow down the action a bit. As we go over to Team Lohi's base, it looks like members from Too Sexy and Tutu are here, and it's going to be a race for this TC.
Going to be a race for sure. That outer compound has been broken, and the outer shell of the base as well has also been there. A nice kill there. Too Sexy to continue on through. And now they're in the bottom. They already got some members in, so we'll see once they put the C4 in where they can go through this base.
Oh boy, Too Sexy losing out on a few members here, but we'll see if they can run back on in. We don't really have anyone on the roof looking down. Lohi did end up going down. Christine was inside along with Go. So the entirety of Team Tutu were in here, just booming through. So that's going to propel them up to 4th place now, sitting at 115 points. So 30 some odd points away from our 1st place team of FG.
That's not bad, and we talked about them a little bit in the attack phase. They were around some areas, but it's good to see them active. It's good to see a lot of teams active. Again, the leaderboard is very, very close. There is no point where you are going to be able to rest back on your laurels in this raiding phase because, 30 points, that's one raid. That is one rocket possibly to break through a wall to get a TC to get yourself back at 1st.
And now we're seeing No Sorry just all over this base. We don't even have any defenders. They've just been put on a bag timer this entire time. And so it's full control for them. This should be an easy finish. Doesn't look like there were any counterers in the area as well. Sufaf still inside their base right now. No one really poking out. And so this should be No Sorry eventually getting this TC.
And that's another team that does need one of these TCs. Boost themselves up a little bit on the leaderboard, but yeah, it's nice. It's like you said, they kind of found a perfect base. They found that there's a lot of trees around. There's no anybody else really wanting to kind of counter it, kind of push alongside of them. But yeah, there are some doors up here. Sumim is maybe behind one of these or down maybe towards the bottom, but I think it's just like you said, a matter of time. No real defenders to work with, and we'll see what these doors hold.
And they are taking their time. I mean, typically we see whenever we get the breach that it's going to be C4 that teams utilize to just get through the doors instead of going for the rockets. So, yeah, they're going to need the time if they want to continue this way. So hopefully maybe someone brought along some C4s because this is probably the slowest way to do it once you have control. But, Pelmeni trying to go for the PvP rockets. Doesn't actually connect. Look, he was dropped down to about 60 HP. 2 members here trying to get looted up, but they are stuck in a corner and really only one way out.
Yeah, no real way out. Also, as a reminder, PvP rockets damage has been greatly reduced, so it isn't as effective. Gonna swing the corner here for No Sorry. It is a bloodbath on the other side. They'll take 2 kills. They'll take some loot. They'll take some beds and take out the morale of the enemy team.
That might be Boom as well, because we saw, one of the defenders having a launcher on his back. And so they have access to that loot, and we'll see. But man, this base has been torn asunder on the rooftop. Sufaf coming in for the counter, and they have roof control. And now, No Sorry, they took their time, and unfortunately, because of all the rockets they ended up using, they just slowed them down too much, creating this opportunity for Sufaf to come in for the counter.
Yeah, they're doing the worm on the roof. They're dancing. They're getting ready to go back in. And 2 powerhouses of teams, they're coming in here to try and finish off. Like you said, it is already in shambles. So a team that, gets that lucky rocket, gets that lucky C4 to finish it off, could be the team that takes it away. And for No Sorry here, you don't want to have used all of those rockets for nothing. A nice roof control here. No Sorry, they're going to try and trade back, but there are 3 members on the roof that are just holding it down.
Rooftop with the M2. All 4 members are here. You can see that the raid platform is all the way out here. They could have dealt with it, but I'm glad that they actually didn't kind of give away their position, right? And deal with that raid platform, because ultimately, look, there are no walls there for the M2. That's free kills. That is such easy control for them. And now they just need to finish things off. There is one last member of No Sorry in here, and he has to be the hero for them. We'll see if he can survive the 2-for-1 trade. That is going to be full control over that base, going over to Shufaf now.
And it's like you said, that raid platform, very, very exposed. They're going to just be able to keep one player up on the roof here, force them out for the rest of time. One of the other players of No Sorry running what it looks like through the trees, out towards the left. But, other than that, it is full control here. There's also going to be Bolt going to be taking their first TC. They're going to be eliminating Nah. So that would jump them up again on the leaderboard here, up into 6th place. So again, a lot of teams putting forward that effort to give themselves some points and getting themselves an early TC.
Yeah, we're not seeing the snowballs quite yet. Typically, a lot of times, we'll see one team that gets that early raid, able to move on to the second one and maybe pick up 2-3 TCs within the first 20 minutes. But things have slowed down just a little bit here because we do have a lot of counters. That's the one thing you have to worry about. If a counter comes out, when you have 7 players, you can try and maybe maintain control. But what happened? You look away from the ladder at the wrong time. You lose out on the AK versus M2 duel.
Yeah, you're going to lose out on that one. You look away for just a second, like you said, and all of a sudden you are gone. But talk about this base being gone. Again, not a lot left. Oh, okay. Climbed the ladder, almost. almost fell down, almost didn't make it. But yeah, this base is... Oh, okay. Okay. Almost. You got it. You got it, buddy.
Come on, man. You got this, man.
Okay.
Oh.
Next time's the charm. Okay. Just gives up.
Yeah, it might just come down to the last remaining members of SUFAF in here. They do have Boom at the very least, but right now they're just trying to take stock of like, what the hell's going on in here? What kind of work has already been done? Where should we boom next? In all the action, it becomes very difficult to really try to figure out where you want to boom next, especially when you're consistently dealing with these counters right now. No Sorry, still trying to run up. We do have Naive. He does look like have kits available to him as he actually goes for the peak. No damage taken, and now he's going to try his hand at getting up these ladders. This time around, though, it looks like there were 2 different ladders set up. This one has full roof access.
Yeah, we'll get up the ladder this time, and it's like you talked about for SoFaf, they don't know what they're walking into. They walk into a base in shambles, but if you're No Sorry, you've cleared pretty much all of the top 2/3 of this base. For NoFaf, you don't know that they have already cleared that, so you're going to have to re-clear that most likely yourself, and doing that is going to take more of your time. Well, like you said, all this counter raiding is going on. All these other members, shooting the teammate there, not the best idea.
This trigger finger a bit happy there, but oh man, somehow SUFAF stay alive. I mean, it's a 2-man. Again, they're just sticking together inside right now, trying to maintain control here. But No Sorry have been able to run in. So it becomes a difficult task, really, of trying to figure out where the hell everyone is, And so for Soiju, he just needs to make sure that he stays alive. He needs to make sure that they have some presence in here. And the kind of back and forth way this fight has been going over control of this base has been absolutely insane. But this time around, it's going to be No Sorry now. They have control over the raid, but I'm wondering, where the hell is Pelmeni? I haven't really seen them respawning in, and despite this being their base, it's only been No Sorry and SUFAF.
They trust the design. That's what it is. The design's been protecting them. It's definitely not been 2 teams fighting. It's the design, of course, right?
All right, looks like Jabroni are actually getting raided by Armin right now, and oh boy, 1/2 of their base basically being torn apart. You can see Roof has been exposed as well, somehow surviving the PvP rockets there, but Armin will end up losing out on a 1, bleeding out on the ground. Still, you can hear the C4 going now. They're trying to basically get through the rest of this base, and here's the thing. It's 4v4s. You only have so many defenders. You can't have all 4 members on the roof right now. Someone needs to go ahead and clear out your base.
Yeah, you can't be looking every which way, but there are other players that are going to be shooting you every which way. And, maybe this is just a design choice. Maybe they wanted a little bit of airflow through their base. Maybe just like the natural wind.
Yeah, they do have an angle to maybe try and clear out some of these raid platforms and maybe deal with the beds. But again, you need someone to drop down. At least they had someone with the presence of mind to go for that. For IDB, though, looks like they're almost successful on the counter. Too Sexy had to regroup here. Someone tried to go for the flank. Now it's going to be up to Atomics. You can see the members of Too Sexy trying to regroup. Nerm is on the ground right now. And this is an important part of this raid defense for IDB. And we knew that they were going to be an early target for Too Sexy. They tried to deal with this early on, but unfortunately, it looks like they stalled out.
Yeah, Yeah, stalled out for just a little bit. The too sexy member is going to be able to get one back, though, at least. So, like you said, it's trying to regroup at the moment, trying to regain those guns, those kits, and just build back your, your walls, because you have none of them really leading up towards that base. But hopping over towards another raid once again. So many raids because there are 4v4s to watch at the same time. So much action going on. And I've been talking about that, obviously, never when they took that early TC, still holding down first place closely, very, very closely, followed by FG in second.
Yeah, it's Team Ruina. It looks like on the in the crosshairs of Team 222, and they are neighbors. And they want to try and deal with them, but there's a second squad right now. Eki are here dealing with the compound on this side. They do see a lot of armored though, and so we'll see if they want to try and splash through that. As Team makes short work of Team Woe, that puts them up into 9th place right now. But here we go. They're gonna go ahead and try and pummel in from the side.
That's a nice TC to get there from obviously gonna get themselves into the top 10. Still not out of the race by any means, but we'll need some more TCs to catch back up. But yeah, going through the side here, it's gonna be a peak though. Reno, they want to go forward. They want to put some players out. This is what you talked about, sending some players to at least disrupt. Give yourself some time, either for the builder to repair or do things like it. But it's the swing around the corner. 2 players looking, just no chance. Really good communication, but still one of these players looking to go around the side here. Seeing if they can pull it out, but the angles are just too good.
Yeah, I mean, the thought process was there for Ruina, right? They hear the rockets launching, and so they know that there's going to be windows when you're reloading the rocket launcher or you're swapping rocket launchers where you will have that advantage. But on the other side, they were ready for it, holding the double angles. And now that they're on timers, they're going to be able to push into the breach. They're going to start pummeling on the side as well. And of course, we have to be consistently worried about the threat of Tutu coming in from the other angle. And so now it's a race between these 2 teams. One of them, though, has a head start, should be able to get in with some C4.
And they got access to the ladders, possibly access to the roof there. And obviously, this base, it's a little bit armored up. Got some armored high qual there on the outside along with it. But, if you aren't getting those players out, like you said, if there are 2 teams raiding you and you can't do anything to stop them, all of a sudden, if they go in that little triangle there and they find that roof access, if they get roof access, it might just be GG's.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to the 4v4, you're really hoping for the counter. That's where you're really finding the opening. It's hard to create the opening here. Pelmeni finally do get taken out, and it's no sorry in that race. Remember, 2 teams were trying to take out that base. We had no idea where Pelmeni were the entire time, but it looks like they were dealt with. Right now, though, Eki are going to continue to try and pummel in from the side. Ruina do have roof access, and one of their members are going to try and slow things down. But as they try to defend on in, it looks like they still don't have full control. Actually, 2 members, Eki and Ruina, kind of missing out on each other on the drop down. Ruina now have control over their compound, and then we'll have another opportunity to push out.
Good job to push out. Good job to get some kills. You talk about control. No sorry with that TC are going to regain control of that first place spot by about 30 points. So a huge take for them. Obviously, getting that TC was a little bit tough. It was a little bit of a race and an investment of their time. Armin is going to be eliminating Jabroni there. So a team that definitely could use a TC, going to put themselves in 9th place. And yeah, this base in shambles.
Yeah. They were able to take the TC. They get the 40 points, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get the loot. You can see that ping diff are here trying to contest them for it. And so remember, it's not over once you get the TC. You still need to secure the loot. That's the other half of the raids, right? Making sure you secure the loot, you're able to get on out. For Never Win, looks like they are going for another raid here. Moving on to their next targets currently. It's going to be Flying PE. They're looking to defend, and they are putting up some fights, but oh boy, this is not a good sight. Seeing that beds are exposed, and so is the inner peak down. So they're not going to have too much control over it. They need to make sure that they basically cover that breach. You have to remember that you can't make new builds on your base, but you can still seal what was already made.
Yeah, you basically have a footprint, an image built that at the end of that phase, if you build outside of it, then obviously that's against the rules. But you can rebuild, you can repair those walls, and rebuild that footprint that you laid down already. But for Neverwin, this is huge. This is the possibility, again, of being aggressive, of being in second place, and possibility of retaking first with this one. And they're setting up a good job. It's like you said, exposing those beds, putting those rockets down first. And also, I'd like to mention the outer compound wall made of wood.
Yeah, I mean it's a C4 difference essentially, right? And, like it's not much for them to deal with, especially because of the very tiny footprint of this base right now. So they're just feeling like they could just go for the pummel instead. It was a 2x2 core, I believe, and so it didn't leave much room for Shell. And once you get in, they notice that hey, we're not seeing all the Rustoria doors. We're not seeing the
Right.
advent calendar meta. Basically, it's very small. So pummeling is probably the best option here for them. It's extremely safe as well. And again, I think this pummel is just going to work. They're getting free beds as well. So flying PE are in really big trouble now.
Yeah, they're in trouble. They still have roof access, which is really nice. They still have some roof peaks, so that's a good. Of course, you're caster cursed, my guy.
Yeah, they get someone off the roof, and now they feel a little bit safer about trying to push into the breach. They've done a lot of work, and basically, this entire side of the base is already gone. And so I don't think they want to use any more rockets in here. They want to get in maybe with some C4. Getting one on bag timer is super important as well, and that was the man on roof. And so they sent 3 people, actually all of their members, into the breach, and C4 is going to start flying. You can see how open this core is as well.
Is all open, ready for the taking here. See if they can take it. See if these rockets going to continue and fly out. They got some beds as well. Continuing to find those is going to limit those respawns from the enemy side. Give them less chance to, you know, bounce back. Give them less chance to repair and recover. And there's just so much boom. It's like you said, the pummel strategy just coming through to try and destroy everything. They're getting kills along with it. They're getting points, and they're feeling happy about it.
Yeah, they still have to be worried though. There are defenders still alive right now. One on the rooftop currently, and we'll see. He's going to go for the peak. Unfortunately, the door is closed. We'll see. Maybe he has some C4 to try and take that away from them. But right now, it's just maintaining control over the inner peaks, as you will be able to clean up one more respawn. And now they should feel a little bit more confident to start booming again.
Yeah, they definitely should be. Hopefully taking out some of those players will allow them to break down some of these doors. And like you talked about, a very small base. They got control of a lot of it as well. So C4 is going to come down. And there it is. They've done a good job. They've done their homework. And it is going to result in an A+ on the test and 40 points on the board.
And that should put them right back in the lead, but not by much. They're only leading by about 12 points over No Sorry, who we saw, what, maybe 5 minutes ago, had taken a TC for themselves, so they should be on to their next raid. We've got multiple taking place across the map, and I love what's going on for this week's Base Invaders, because typically we see a lot of big grouping of bases, but because we have so many teams, it's a lot more spread out all the way across the map. There's no focal point of action. It's just pure chaos all across the island.
Yeah, there's so much battlefield, so many players all across it. We talked about it, over 120 players here today playing in Base Invaders. And along with that, we talked about the points. We got to mention it once again that there are so many points up for grabs here. So even if you are Neverwin at this point, even if you are No Sorry at this point, that you're in the 1 and 2 slot, you got to realize there are still so many teams up and alive, that there are so many teams that if you start snowballing, if you start getting that boom, finding easy bases back and forth, you're going to keep getting those points. But as, you know, those easier bases start to fall out, every base is going to be, you know, an experienced team or a very, very armored up base.
Yeah, Chocolat looks like they are pretty good on the defense so far. La 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 have been evicted. IDK are trying to worm their way on in, but for Chocolat, it looks like, you know, they have full roof control right now, and they were able to deal with the raiders, so that's good. That's also going to be points coming their way if you're able to defend the raid and basically get rid of anyone inside the zone of your area. You will be awarded points. Now for team looks like TVSS are all over this right now, but multiple squads are actually coming in for the counter.
Yeah, a couple squads around in the area here. We will see the roof is getting actually some C4. Some other things are going to be going down here, hiding in the corner, hiding away like a little rat that they are. Oh, beautiful. It's a nice angle. The hide and seek works. Gets a second. Oh, man. Finds the kill, seeking them out.
Yeah, TVSS need this as well, because I believe one of their earlier raid targets kind of got sniped away from them. So right now they are sitting all the way down there in 8th place. They are down by about 124 points from first, but getting a nice small victory here will allow them to basically catch up. But the defenders are starting to respawn. Team Squarrow slowly getting cleaned out from here. Remember, you don't get any points for kills on players that don't have a gun, but as soon as you pick one up, that's where you are free game.
those players with kits are going to be the target for sure. But yeah, you talked about there's still time left. There's still about an hour left on the clock for these teams. But if you are 100, 120 points behind, you need those big wins right here, right now. You need a TC pretty soon because at this point, never win. No, sorry. They've shown they're aggressive teams. They're not going to stop getting points. So you need to make sure you're getting out, you're getting those targets, and you're hopefully trying to find some TCs.
Yeah, Suero does seem like they were able to deal with the counters, and now they kind of need to just start booming once again. All the loot is up top as well. So many of them. And you can see now they're going to continue to boom on in. This base does have a rather large footprint. And again, I'm so surprised that so many teams, once they get into the breach, they want to go for the rocket boom. And typically we see, it's just a blitzkrieg, right? Teams go in with the C4. They just go ahead and lay waste to all the doors. But they're taking things really slow here.
Yeah, they're taking it slow. They're making sure that they can get through everything. Make sure they're not missing anything at all. Obviously, there's going to be a couple advent doors here for them to break open, possibly a TC behind one of them. And, just trying to get through, trying to make sure they can take out all these doors and everything else and gain control of it. That's what they've done. They've gained control here of this kind of shooting floor, kind of half in between the roof, and just breaking down everything. They're sending different members off. Obviously, it's a little bit slower because it is four-mans, but just hoping to find it behind one of these doors.
Yeah, there aren't too many doors remaining. I believe when we were taking a look at this base in the building phase, we were a little bit worried because we weren't seeing as many door frames going down during the build, and that's kind of causing a lot of trouble. The typical what is it, meta, I would say, that when we see like the bigger teams, right, is just hallways upon hallways, but here it's just some single triangles with one door. And so you're not getting that same kind of delay tactics that come out from the multiple doorway hallways.
Yeah, it's exactly like you said, that it's not that big of a core. It's not that big. It's just a couple of honeycombs on the outside for them to have to protect their TC, where what we see in like 7s or 6s is large mazes of massive doors and everything, and just all about stalling time. And that just could be, it is 4s. You don't have as much time because you don't have as many players. You might have just one player building or two players building, where you could have 3, 4, 5 when it is in those bigger squads. And you have to use your time wisely. You have to use it to go out and get information, and information going to be gained how this base is starting to fall apart for the team that owns it.
Yeah, TVSS are back here though with their respawns, and this is my big worry for Team Suero. Taking their time with the rocket boom to try and get through the doors instead of going for the C4 had slowed them down just long enough for TVSS actually to get back here with respawns, and now they have to fight for the base once more. And TVSS, they're ready to try and take roof access. They are slowly climbing on up, and they have about 2, maybe 3 members inside. And there it is, Toxical along with Zeus, able to take out one more. Sunshine, he had his back, and he loses out on that fight. And now it's TVSS with control over this base.
Yeah, they're going to get control. Like you said, those respawns coming in huge for them. Their base might be in shambles, but it is not gone yet. So it is, like you said, it is that bad scenario for the team of Suero, who just used those rockets, tried to go slow, tried to save their resources, and now are paying the price for it. We'll see if they can get back to it, because they did a lot of damage for it, but it looks like their raid platform here is going not so strong.
Yeah, Sober holding the angle for right now. We do have one member of Team Suero just outside as well. Looks like we're taking a look at another raid target, quite possibly for 2 Sexy. 3 members currently here right now. The defenders are, I was going to say online. Everyone's online, but they are back at base. For Team Marina, it does seem like they are dealing with the multiple threats. We saw them doing a great job there, but Ping Diff had to go back to base because our men are here. So much of their base is just wide open right now. No real roof access for them. FG have shown up, and that's a name we haven't seen so much in the last 20 minutes. But despite that, they are not too far behind. They are only about 20 points behind, and there we go. FG ends up taking out Ping Diff, and that's going to push them up now into 3rd place, only 18 points behind Never Win.
Yeah, they are keeping with the competition here. Like you said, we haven't seen them in just a little bit. So they push forward. They take out this base. It is also going to be eliminated by TVSS. So they get back. They defend. They get a nice job. And they'll get some points along with the TVSS. That is huge for them. Jumping into 6th place now. Still about 80 points we talked about behind. They were about 120 behind. But, that's a good start for them. Still an hour left. Still time to make it up.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Team Suero, who put in a lot of work here, right? But again, it just comes down to the efficiency of time. If they had brought out the C4, if they had just gone through those doors with the C4 instead, the time it takes them to shoot 3, 4 rockets, and it was only one player, I believe, or maybe two players going for the boom, is I don't know, 10, 20, 30 C4 that you could lay down instead.
Yeah, it's rough. You know, you spend and now you're realizing that you've used all of that boom for nothing, right? You've used all those rockets, all that everything, and you get nothing out of it. You don't get the loot, you don't get the TC. For TVSS, I mean, you're happy about that one. You walk in, they've opened up all these doors for you. You use very little, you get the loot, you get the 40 points, and you know, this could be exactly what TVSS needs. You talk about the snowballing effect where one team needs to just take the boom from one area, put it towards another, and TVSS, they could really use a snowball right now. Talking about snowballing, though, got another team looking to take down Gangman here. Looks like they got some armor, some decent armor plating on the outside of their base, but lots of rockets flying in here.
Yeah, it's like a little checkered pattern on the outside there. Gangnam, though, do have some defenders online, and they kind of have to hope that maybe Big Kuna helped them out there. You can see them on the hilltop just off to the side. So maybe the counter comes in. For Gangnam, though, they're not showing any presence right now. They are still kind of stuck inside, and so they're letting the pummel come to them. And unfortunately, a lot of the geography around them is kind of working against them. Tree lines makes it extremely difficult to try and go for the counter. Even if they get up onto the rooftops, it looks like a lot of those angles are still covered by the trees. So this is just a free pummel for the squad outside right now.
Yeah, they can just lay down those rockets after rockets. And I mean, this raid platform really, really beautiful, has a lot of protection around it. But it's exactly like you said, it is Big Kahuna going to be helping them out from the side. It's also Neverwin to take out Chocolat here. So Neverwin, we're already in that first place running now, extending their lead 40 points, a full TC ahead of anybody else.
Yeah, gotta go for that snowball. Gotta find the next target. And we still have 54 minutes remaining here. Big Kahuna, though, are taking their time here on the counter. But the simple fact that they are here has actually slowed down VG by so much. You don't hear the rockets anymore. And you're seeing members of Gangnam actually trying to push out and go for the counter. They know that as soon as they hear the rockets stop, that's the opportunity they have to try and go for the defense.
And that just shows experience right there. If anybody takes their foot off the gas pedal, you go ahead and break them apart here. Some nice trades, though, here from VG. They are not going down without a fight. One of them is going down, but some good trades nonetheless. Hopefully, you can get those respawns, can get those reses. Big Kahuna, though, is still pushing in to try and swing this. A nice snipe, though. Oh, baby. VG, they pick up some kills. I don't know if they'll have any players still standing, but hopefully can get the res in time.
Yeah, it looked like it was just a Mexican standoff there. Everyone going down. Basically, the end of was it Reservoir Dogs? Essentially, at this point, the respawns coming in. Big Kahuna doing Gangnam a favor. Now Gangnam need to take this time to shore up their base, see what they need to repair because Big Kahuna, I don't know how quickly they are ready to pivot and basically steal this raid away. But as they pick up the loot, it looks like they should be able to deal with the VG raid platform and take that win away and really ride that momentum.
That's the hope for them, is to just take over that raid platform, gain all the resources that were already used on the other side, and just transfer it into your own raid. I mean, Big Kahuna, they have been pretty quiet, I'd have to say. We've talked about them in the past, that they usually have a really strong position on the hill, but they just don't find opportunities to push out. Nice opportunity to push out there, take some kills, but they could really use this raid. They need to. I think this is a good choice for them.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Almost half the server's gone at this point. Big Kahuna, the counters of that raid currently sitting in 16th place with 62 points. So it's going to be a tough go. They need a lot of raids in quick succession, but I don't even know if there's that many bases around here for them to take. So yeah, this is going to have to be the beginning of the snowball for them. Let's go ahead and take a look at other points of the map right now as we go over to Bolts. Remember, they got a TC not too long ago, but it looks like they might be defending themselves.
Yep, defending themselves as well. And you talk about, there's not a lot. Oh no.
This is huge. FG actually pushing onto TVSS right now. They are inside the base. Mango is here. He's got the launcher ready. And it looks like TVSS have lost control of their base right now. Zeus is going to try and challenge, but ends up missing out on that jump, unfortunately. Still, though, FG having a little bit of trouble. You can see that Mango is slow playing this one. He's waiting. He's playing his life. Because yeah, we are in force. You have to play your life once you're inside the breach.
You definitely have to, but you talk about this team of FG. I love what they have been doing all of this tournament long. We talk about opening up with that hard point, getting some damage here. Is going to be TVSS to take out that player. But yeah, they've been doing really good. They've been getting raids successfully, currently sitting in 3rd place. And they could use another one. Obviously, it's been Neverwin that have been just a little bit faster than them, still sitting in 1st place. But yeah, it's like you said, you need to be pushing forward. You need to be playing your life. And importantly for FG, you need to be getting inside of this base and hopefully finding that TC soon.
Stonegate was left open, but they wanted to make sure that it stays open here as FG ends up cleaning up 2 inside of the compound. And it looked like they might have been able to gain control back over this base for now, but this one member of FG is just putting it in work. 3 members now on bag. There we go. Sober finally shows up to clean him out. They still need to seal up this compound, but it looks like the work might have been done. FG, though, aren't too far away. They do have, of course, their base right there, but as we go on over to La La La, looks like 2 Sexy are making their attempt at this base.
They're looking for this one. Ooh, some C4 are going to be going through the roof here, trying to break through the triangle peaks. Looks like they've already destroyed some things on the top of this roof. So they've gained themselves a lot of control as well. Possibly some turrets gone. So, it's going to be good. The C4 just going to go straight through a couple different levels, but some firefight will trade some members out.
Yeah, I love that. It was almost like a thermite going through, right? Just melting his way all the way down those triangles. But unfortunately, he's not going to be able to continue. It looks like the rooftop is back in control for this squad. But they lost out on beds, and I don't know if any loot maybe got stolen away from them because there are a lot of boxes up here. Slowing things down for La La La. We don't even see them in the top 10 right now, but I don't even know if maybe that was possibly a solo attempt on that base. As we join on aboard with TVSS, still on the defense, and it looks like they have completely defended it. FG are just going to chalk that one up as a loss.
Yeah, they're going to back up. It looks like they're going to try and regroup and maybe find some other place to raid. Like you said, it is going to be, as time continues to tick on, there's going to be less and less teams to be here. So we will be, raids are going to slow down. There's going to be more bases spread out. Teams will have to travel further distances. And we're almost approaching the halfway marker of the raiding phase. So if you haven't been getting bases, if you haven't been getting points, that was probably the time to get ready and start doing so.
Yeah, Armin are trying to make their trying to start on this raid over Eki. I believe there was one member of Eki actually on the flank. That is going to be Profa, drawing all the members back. He only ends up not getting one, unfortunately. It was really close, but that does delay things just a little bit. Eki can still try and push out. You can see that Aped is going out there, but they're well established. They have the high ground angle. The roof has been dealt with. All the walls are gone from the pummel as well, so can't really even try to defend from there, but it wouldn't have been a great angle because Armin still have height on them.
Eki built themselves kind of down in a little bit of a ravine. There is a little bit of hill position, like you said, above them. So just easy rocketing, easy shots here from the Armin team, and it's going to be Eki. The only thing they can do is swing players out. So that's their only hope. These rockets just flying in left, right, and center has broken through the outer shell and is now looking to break through the inner shell. They're just rocketing back and forth, loot up top. Have access to cut off all of those peak points, along with, not a lot of advent doors again. I mean, there's some in the outer shell, but other than that, I mean, it is very, very little that's actually left here.
Yeah, we're seeing the weaknesses of these 2x2 cores again, or is this a 2x3 at this point? No, it's just going to be a 2x2. And so, yeah, it does not leave you much room to have the extra honeycomb, the extra triangles on the outside. And they've basically been entirely cored the way these rockets are coming in. You can see how safely that they're trying to raid this from, because it looks like MLRS the way the rockets are kind of arching their way on in. And now Eki are completely in shambles. Half their compound basically gone as well. They don't have access to their loot. I don't even know if they're going to be able to find any guns. And now basically it's just a free open core for this team to push in if they want to get into the breach.
Yeah, I mean, it is absolutely free for them to walk into. Everything has been opened up for them if they want to walk in. But they're still just playing it slow at the moment. Finally taking some shots here. And it is Armin. I believe someone just went up to them. They're like, Mr. Armin, tear down this wall.
And I love how they dealt with like the initial threats, right? Make sure that if you can't take roof, that you at least deal with the shooting floor, deal with the fact that like hey, they're not going to be able to shoot down at us anymore. And a lot of it did come down to the geography, but they are playing this one extremely smart. They do send one into the breach right now, and it's so safe for them because you can see where all the loot is with the way that they cored it. That hey, if someone respawns, we can easily deal with them. But that's what I'm talking about, the speed. You need to go in with the C4, and they are dealing with the doors throughout all of that. No, sorry. Ends up picking up another TC. That's Alpha 7 going down. Now they are within 1 point of never win.
Yeah, these two teams at the top of the leaderboard have been racing back and forward, but another team is going to be running in on the backside here. Arena, they want part of this fight. A lot of the base already destroyed. Armin, they chose to take a little bit safer boom route, and it could have hurt them now because Armin, they are C4ing in. They're getting control of the roof, and they are pushing in very, very quickly. They already have control of the peaks.
Yeah, and you have to remember, I believe this was a little bit of a revenge raid for Arena because Eki were at their base earlier on. Arena were able to defend, and now they're pivoting back on and trying to catch up in points, basically. You can see now Arena up here on the top. It's the C4. That's what I'm talking about. When you get into these 4v4s, you need to be so much quicker on these raids, and the C4 is the tool to do it with.
It is, like we talked before, those rockets are just too slow. There's a timer between pulling them out, and more kills going to go to Rowena. They have so much control now, control over the loot boxes as well. There are some turrets up top that they're going to have to be a little bit wary of, but I don't think there's a TC up top, so you can just kind of boom down.
Yeah, they just want roof access. There's one more TC, I believe, basically above this on the 2x2. There's two TCs, excuse me, two turrets up here. So not going to be able to quite deal with this one, unfortunately. But hey, they're inside right now. They have the C4. They just need to start dealing with these doors. And really, a lot of the work was already done by Armin. Nice place to go down at the very least, as you will be able to get rezzed. And Armin are still trying to deal with this. Eki do have the flank as well. Pretzel, it's gonna take him some time, but hey, if he can get himself a gun off of this box, oh no.
They don't see me. They don't see me. They don't see me.
Oh my god, what is going on? Oh, Pretzel, you were so close. I wonder if they realize that the box is like damaged.
Half destroyed.
So like their spidey senses are tingling at this point, but Armin are just scrambling to try and get control over this raid once again.
Yeah, they're trying to get back. They're trying to get kids on up. Hopefully they realize there is a lonely man with a... No, they don't. Mr. Rockman is coming back to destroy this crate. Oh, man.
If he can get it, though, that could be the defense, but they still have to deal with Team Marina that are inside their base right now. And you know what? I commend him. I commend him because right now his base is in ruins. I don't even know if there are any more beds inside, and it doesn't actually look like there are actually any beds inside. So this is his only play.
Yeah, try and get a gun here. Try and maybe ward off one of the teams. Oh, a shot from the side there. Arena gonna lose one of their members. So still 3 teams in the area. Obviously, the team that is defending, the 2 teams that are on both the sides. Still trying to take control of this one. A lot of the base still open. Still some doors here in the bottom. Possibly behind these double doors. No, not behind this one. I think the other one leads to the outside. So, yep, no, not behind these double doors, but some C4 going to be blown in through a place that is already opened up.
Yeah, it's so difficult, right, to know exactly where you want your boom when you know that the counter is there. You know you've left some boom inside on bodies and stuff, and you just need to try and go for this Hail Mary at this point. And Armin are still trying to defend, but Marina are right here. This could be theirs very shortly. The C4 going down. You can see why you need to get these hallways to try and slow things down a lot, but not quite successful yet. And he still has to deal with the counters, and he has successfully done so.
The team, like you said, Armin, it's a rough defense. There is really no way, unless they get rid of both teams and their rating platform. Even then, their base is so far in shambles here. The C4 going to go down. I think it has to be on this bottom floor in one of these hallways here. I don't know where else it could be. The core is so small. The core is all broken up, and the rest of the base has already been taken over.
Yeah, there really aren't too many spaces remaining here for this last TC. Never win ends up taking out Big Kahuna. So now Never Win will go ahead and basically take back that lead. Remember, first and second place, they were separated by maybe 2 points not too long ago. So that's a nice little boon to them. But no, sorry, we have to imagine are probably on their next target. And so we're going to continue to see our first and second places flipping.
Yeah, it is these two horses that have just been racing each other back, forth, and center. I'd also like to give props to Neverwin. We talked about Big Kahuna. They were up on top of a hill. They had God spot high ground above the highest land, and Neverwin still found a way to get in and beat them.
Yeah, one of the difficult things again when it comes to these fours is just that when someone's on bag timer, that's 25% of your team, and every single life is crucial. So they might have just been able to find a nice little window where they wipe the squad, had maybe a minute and 2 minutes to work freely on the base. But if we take a look at this base right now, there's been plenty of time, but Armin are still struggling trying to find this TC.
Struggling here. There's not much left. There's only a couple places on the bottom floor. Maybe it is on the roof. Maybe I spoke wrong about it earlier. There's going to be some jump ups here for them to try and continue. They've already looted all the way through this loot floor. There's no real space on the roof. So I think it has to be down in one of those bottom things that they have not checked yet. 1 or 2 doors is all that stand between them and 40 points.
Yeah, I don't understand where the hell is it really gonna be behind this garage door? No, it's not in there. You can actually see inside, but it looks like it's just a jump up. And again, when you're in that panic position, when you're racing for a TC, when you're getting countered, you don't have time to be strategic with your C4. You just kind of have to let it fly. And Armin, that's what they're doing right now. The counters the defenders are still here. Eki, we're trying to deal with this, but Shufap ends up showing up, and it looks like Ruina team ends up getting taken out. 2-2-2 will take down our 4th place team, and that's gonna be 2-2-2 now, sniping that position away.
Yeah, where did they even come from? I don't even know. But yeah, they have come out here. They have come into 4th place now because Reno is taken out again. It does not matter how many points you have. If you lose your TC, that is the end of it. Armin's still trying to hold down. Still somehow, the base is standing.
Yeah, it looks like they got caught with like their pants down because remember, Ruina were coming in here for the counter. And so that might have been actual crucial bag timers if they ended up going down when they were trying to go for that counter. And people were already in their base. So now as we join on board with TVSS, oh boy, they find themselves on the wrong side of this. 3 teams are here. FG on the low ground, Bolt on the high ground, and you got IDK coming in from behind. A lot of their base hasn't been rebuilt, and now we're just getting some rocket pummel from the side. Luckily for TVSS, on this side, they do have a lot of armored up. They have a lot of armored actually throughout this base, but it looks like they might have lost control, quite possibly. Nope, never mind. They are trying to rebuild here on the roof.
And importantly, obviously, because of the new rules, you have to try and rebuild that up towards metal. You can't just leave it as a wood to block 1 rocket every single time. But it's like you talked about, they have a lot of high quality here all around their base. It is a very small base, though. And there's 3 teams. So it's going to be 12 players probably pummeling towards this base, just putting rockets down. Obviously, the 2 teams up on the high ground, IDK and Bolt, they actually had to fight each other to go into the same direction. So IDK, it looks like, I think, taking over of this raiding platform.
Yeah, if IDK don't immediately pivot for this stealing of the raid, TVSS have an actual shot to try and push out from FG. Remember, this is FG's 2nd attempt at TVS's base. You can see how quickly they're able to get back in, and I love that they were able to kind of spot out the fact that Bolts had stopped booming, and they put the focus on rebuilding on this side. You got TVSS, Toxical, trying to push out as well, but he ends up getting taken out. Sober is out here as well for the squad, but FG are ready for the push out.
I love what they're doing. They're doing a good job of just utilizing their members and their strengths, just repairing when they need to repair, realizing that the boom has stopped. We need to repair. We need to be able to block some of those rockets with that sheet metal. It is going to be Iki eliminated by Armin. Armin was on the defense. Their base in shambles, but they find a way to take out a base.
Yeah, Iki, I believe, was the base that was getting raided by Rena and Armin before Rena ended up getting taken out themselves. So it just took a little bit of time. It took a little dealing with Rena before they got the freedom to try and deal with it. I love how quickly Zeus is trying to deal with this, but you have to understand that there is a grace period when you build, and so a lot of these will be a single rocket. They need time for the health on the walls. That's why they're instantly going down. But you can see now IDK, I don't know if it was IDK or Bolt that's trying to push in from this other side.
Yeah, two teams still going through. IDK it looks like have kind of won that battle towards the upper high ground up that hill, but that team could come back. The team could definitely fight them, but they're gonna break inside of this outer compound. Again, very high quality on the inside, but winning that trade is a good start towards their raid. It's going to be, again, just trying to blow a hole in from the other side. Repairs going through where the rockets are coming in, though. So TVSS, they're doing just a good job of just repairing around this area. Now, it could be that the TC is over by this area. That's why they're repairing a lot. Or it could be just, that's where the rockets are coming. That's where we're going to repair.
Yeah, I mean, FG have at least an idea of where they really want to go, but first they need to crack things open and then make a safe breach for themselves, right? But now they know that the pressure is on. They have a team countering or at least raiding from the other side, and so they need to be quick with this one right now. Unfortunately, it looks like K might just be down to rockets here instead of going with a C4. And we've seen how that has punished teams in the past, not having the C4 available to try and quickly go through multiple doors instead of taking your time one at a time. Might create an opening here for TVSS, but not when that happens. When he's able to hear one out, take him out, put him back on timer.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a slower push with those rockets. Obviously, a little bit longer of a timer to pull out that weapon, and you can get caught. Again, there are those timers. If a rocket is going down, okay, I can swing them now. They probably won't have time to pull out their rifle, but it will be that rate. It will be just continuing to put down that pressure. We got another one that looks like going off here. It is Sufo that are trying to defend, I believe. Yeah, so this is their base here. There are some fires going off along the top of it, and there is this beds on the outside. I actually like this, but they're all going to get destroyed.
Yeah, no sorry. Moving on to their next target, Sufaf. They give us a little bit of a highlight, taking out that patrol helicopter, basically bullseye on their roof, but the bullseye is on their base now. No sorry. They're only 40 points behind. This TC will catch them up with never win.
That'd be huge. Again, has been these two horses at the top of the race. No one else really able to stick with them. And no, sorry, they would love this. And I'd love it too. I mean, especially as a commentator. 35 minutes left. I want to see these teams go right till the last minute and still be within like 5 or 10 points.
Looks like two teams here trying to take out Gangnam right now. VG and Never Win. Never Win are current leaders. As VG have basically been evicted out of this, and it looks like Jopa is going to deal with this raid platform. So that's going to be it for VG. They're already on timer. Their bets are gone now. For Wallpeaker and for Hose, they need to play their lives. They need to try and survive here for the other two members to come in, but Never Win. Just not even giving them an opportunity. Straight into the breach, getting rid of them. And now Gangnam only have one team to deal with, but 3 members are pushing in onto the base.
They're pushing, they are laddering up here. The roof completely empty as well, so they're going to gain control of this like half shooting floor kind of jump up area, and they're going to shoot some rockets here. They're going to look to try and get in the middle of this core. Looks like just, again, a 2x2 that's been really, really popular today, but again, it does not give you as much space as possible. In those 6-man, 7-mans where we see that 3x3, maybe some other bigger cores, and we'll see where they go with this. Looking to just take out the middle for now. Take out some garage doors along with it. It is Never Win that are just holding on some angles. They do hear some players, I think, above them on the roof, so they have to be a little bit careful. Look at the angle. They're going to lose one.
Yeah, it's over there. And so he's the one that's slowing things down, and that's going to create an opportunity for Kangna, but legit ends up finding one there in the middle. He might find surfing as well. And if he does, that's going to be full control over core for him, but he still needs to wait for the respawns of his team to get in. Fortunately, they haven't dealt with the roofer quite yet, but hey, as long as you have someone in, as long as you have someone, boom, making progress on the base, really all you can ask for.
Ooh. Yeah, they got some natural decoration. They got the tree in the base. Love to see that. But yeah, it's like you said, just having a player down in this core, continually rocketing, continually pushing forward. And we'll see what Neverwin can do here as they continue to break down these garage doors. Going to access a little bit more of the base, but going to get taken down. Again, those timers are there. The rocket slows you down a little bit. And with that, having to pull out the AR, just not able to get it in time.
Yeah, Silver is just the MVP for his squad right now. Basically solo holding this entire base for himself. You can see this side has been completely rung open, but there's still members inside ready to try and push in. But right now, Never Win. They do not have control over this. They have players inside, but they are losing them. You have to remember, every single player you lose, that's a quarter of your team. That's respawns coming in from the counters as well. You can see VG are behind them right now. And even though things were looking quite good, they have basically lost control over this raid. So I don't know if they're going to be able to complete this one.
I'm not 100% sure. And you talk about time. Time is draining. We're almost towards a third of the raid phase. That's all you're going to have left. And again, it is these top two dogs that have been just sitting at the top, grinding out these points. Hopping over to 2-2 here, which is the team currently sitting in 5th place. I mean, 5th place, though, I mean, the gap has spread out a lot. Still 140 points behind that top team. They could really use a raid right now, and that's what they're going to look to do. Putting down rockets. They've already broken through the outer compound wall, but Too Sexy is the team defending, and they are no pushover.
They're no pushover, but the thing is, they have 3 teams currently raiding right now. IDB, Bastard, along with one other squad, and you can see it's so difficult to defend this one. Really, you're hoping that maybe the teams turn onto each other, but with 30 minutes to go, teams know that really the only thing they want to do is try and get this TC. They don't want to try and deal with the other people. It's kind of a race for it. You can see the pummel going down onto this side of the honeycomb right now, but the way that this base is built, multiple hexagons of triangles on top of each other actually does slow down the pummel quite a bit.
It slows it down, and it's also important to note that talk about time. We're down to 30 minutes. We're getting down towards the end. You know, we're down to what, 15, 16 teams still left alive. At this point, there is a large target on the back of never win and no sorry. For these other teams, if you were to take out these top 2 teams, could possibly open up the door for your win. You know, if you take out the top 2 teams and they are no longer, you know, controlling this area. So I got that question for you, Jamerson. If you're one of these teams, if there's a target on this, you know, big never win, big no sorry team, are you going to take them out? Is that your goal?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to, but the thing is, like we mentioned earlier on, right? How many teams were spending that attack phase trying to kind of scout out where the bases are? With the way that all the bases were spread out in today's base invaders, it's so difficult to tell, right? And you know that teams kind of change up their base design as well, so it's not as easy to be able to just spot a base and be like, oh yeah, that's never win. Oh yeah, that's no sorry, because you have different bases when it comes to these 4v4s.
There's definitely different bases, definitely different designs, but if one of those teams has a big target, possibly could get taken out closer towards the end. But right now, it's Too Sexy again. They are on danger of being taken out still. A lot of squads around them. Some turrets to work with, though. They got some roof control as well. And the base, again, heavily armored on the outside. I love the design here, but there are, it looks like, some players already booming down through the bottom.
Yeah, Jamesy has been doing a lot of work on this defense so far. You know, he did go down on the roof there, but the fact that he was up there slowed things down a lot. 2-2-2 having to deal with the chaos of their own walls, and that's just simply comes down to the counters that came in. You can see Bastard have an angle on them, IDB as well. So this is a huge opportunity for Too Sexy to try and get this raid defense, and honestly, I think they might be successful. They just need maybe one person to push out to try and clear one bed platform. That's one last threat to deal with, and Bastard and IDB are just going at each other at this moment.
Going to look for each other. Some nice trades here as a couple points off that. Get access towards their raiding platform is such a huge deal. And nice to, I'm not gonna lie, still 3 squads on this raid, and the team of Too Sexy, they've just been doing a really good job of knowing when to push out, knowing where to shoot, knowing where to take down those raiding platforms. They're doing an okay job with this defense right now.
Yeah, the only thing that's like really making things difficult for their defense is just that they've lost this side of their roof. Jamesy, he's doing a great job on the defending. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any peeks. He doesn't have a roof to try and peek out from. So every single peek he makes is extremely vulnerable. But here comes a push out right now. Unfortunately, does not check that angle. That's going to be Christine taking him out. And just adding on to the chaos is Christine to cover this body.
There are just so many. It's a kill streak there, but yeah, there's so many walls around here. There's so much just chaos, like you're talking about, for all these teams to try and push forward to. There's a car coming from behind. It's Too Sexy. They're looking for the flank here, just hiding in the back. Oh, just chilling out, of course.
I wonder if this is theirs, or if he's just actually stealing this one away and he's clearing beds and stuff. So that's gonna be one less respawn point for them. But he does have a kit now. We'll see if he can maybe try and deal with 2-2-2 that have been here. And it looks like not quite his, unfortunately, but 2-2-2 are there. They've respawned, and there is an opportunity for him now to try and clear that one out. And that's where they do need to put the focus on. That's where the large majority of the damage has happened to their base. But what? How do they take him out through the windows there? All right, 2-2-2. I don't know how Goes does it, but he did.
Legs get sniped out. Such an unfortunate scenario. Could have been such a good angle to have, but Looks like some more raids going on around the map here. It is going to be, it looks like Team Armin who are going to be attack Team Suero. And now Team Suero, nowhere to be found.
Yeah, Team Suero was one of the squads that took a really tough loss earlier on, and we haven't seen much from them. Remember, they committed a lot into a raid maybe 30 minutes ago and ended up losing out on all of their boom, and I have to imagine. And now their base is getting absolutely pummeled with no defense. This entire side basically exposed, and now we just move on to the next. You can see, yeah, they're going for the sides at this point. They've basically taken out a quarter of the base, and now they only have 3/4 remaining.
I hope they get in here quick. The C4 needs to start flying out like you talked about in the past. Go a little bit faster. Make sure no one else. I mean, you're making a lot of noise. There are still some teams in the area, so you want to get in. You want to finish it fast and not use all this resources for nothing. But like you said, it is a free base right now. No one is home. They knocked, and they just said, okay, let's just break down the doors instead.
Yeah, they're getting in. They took out multiple compound walls as well, so it's not going to be the easiest seals as well. But here they are inside. 2 people pushing into the breach currently, and they see all the doors as well. But they're just going to continue that pummel from the side. And I feel like they might be a little bit confused. Like, where are the defenders at this point? No one has shown up. You can take a look at your map, and you'll know if your base is getting raided, whether or not. But no one has even done that. Someone needs to have one kill right now.
They need to get back. They need to make sure that they're there because, I mean, Armin is here. They are breaking through. They have already accessed now the core, so we'll see where that leads them, but a lot of doors still on the outside. Some nice garage doors there built up. At least the doors are closed, so at least makes it a little bit harder. It's like you said, you need to get back. There is no time to waste. Your base is about to go under.
Oh, boy. And he's dealt with so many beds. These turrets, they're not even on. What? What's the point? What's the point? The turrets aren't even on. This is just an absolutely free raid for Armin at this point. They are currently sitting in 8th place with 172 points. They're 180 off from never win. But hey, this could definitely help you in that regard.
It's a visual deterrent, Jamerson. The turrets, obviously. Why put them on? Just there it is. Talk about a visual. There you go. It's the TC gonna be claimed up. It's on the roof, and it is no longer Armin to take out Suero there.
Yeah, so that's going to propel them up to 5th place now. They're only 5 points behind TVSS. We have to remember, though, the TVSS are in the process of defending a raid right now. We'll see if they can get the full clear, maybe get 30, 40 points, because the raids around their bases have been taking some time. But while everyone else is basically just cannibalizing each other, it's just been never win and no sorry. Moving on from raid to raid, there's only what, like a 20-point, 18-point difference between our 1st and 2nd place team, TVSS. It looks like they might have actually been fully successful on this defense. They've got 3 members up right now. FG are all the way back at spawn. Man, what defense coming out from them.
Again, the teams that are at the top continuing to extend their lead. It's going to be no sorry this time. They're the ones. You talk about a 20-point difference. It'll still be a 20-point difference, but now no sorry is going to be in the lead.
Yeah, we saw this, I believe, about 10 minutes ago where they were able to deal with a lot of the beds, but in the defense, just not really there. And so never win. They should be able to pick up some additional loot for themselves. This is the point, though, during the raid phase where teams start slowly running out of gas because for no sorry, for never win, both of them are on maybe 3, 4 raids at this point. And you have to imagine that their sulfur is running a little bit low, but never mind. Here's never win onto Gangnam's base. Gangnam were able to defend before, but VG are still here trying to get in, and I don't really see anyone from Gangnam except for one member. It's going to be Surfing once again. He was pretty pivotal on their initial defense, but they were never able to seal and close up their base.
And the bases would have been really strong. It looks super armored, but no real doors, no real anything else, like you said, to seal that on up. Neverwin are going in. They want the lead back, and they want it now. VG is still in the area. It's going to be Gang. They are able to get dropped. VG still putting in work, still putting in pressure. Look at how much armor there is, though. Man, this is juiced up.
Yeah, but it's armored, but there are no doors remaining. That's the important part. Remember, your TC has to always be accessible by doors. So right now, you're just looking for the final remaining doors in this base. I see at least one that's still standing. but not too many more at this point. And so now for Never Win, a lot of the work has already been done for them. VG has put in quite some time on this base, and it might just get sniped away from them.
That is definitely a possibility, and Neverwin is one of the teams that would love to snipe it away. It's gonna be, there it is, sniped
Wow.
away. Just too quick, man. Oh, that one hurts.
VG probably spent the last 20 minutes on this base and Never Win set up a raid platform, and within a minute they have the TC, and now they have the lead as well. So it's just ping-ponging back and forth between Never Win and No Sorry. That's going to be a 21-point lead. This is a scary territory to be in, because we've seen in the past when it's come down to this small of a difference between the two squads, that it's just going to come down to the final 20 minutes of PvP more than anything else.
PvP is kind of important. Also, if one of these teams can, maybe get off a successful defense. I know we talked about the target becoming bigger and bigger on their back as time goes on. I mean, they're almost at 400 points. They're about 100 points ahead of the next, team below them. There's a huge target on their back, and if a team tries to raid them is unsuccessful, that's defense points that would just push them further ahead.
Yeah, Too Sexy have dealt with some of the threats, but there are still multiple here. 2-2 inside their base right now. Yogi is there, along with one more member. And fortunately, even though their base looks like it's pretty torn open, there's still a lot of doors up. So it doesn't look like really too many players were able to put in too much work on the breach at this point. Now they're just kind of going for these walls. And I'm kind of wondering why, when they have all of these doors here.
Yeah, so usually there's a player that plays maybe inside of them, but other than that, there's just a lot of doors. I love it. It's got spookiness, it's got the Halloween vibes for me, and it's got some holes in the wall as well, but it's gonna be another hole coming through the bottom as another team trying to raid a different way. Ooh, beautiful shot there coming out here, as I believe 2-2 taking themselves down to 10 HP.
Yeah, only one person, that's going to be Yogi inside the base. But we've seen the kind of work Yogi can do. He is quite the rascal. And he's still maintaining position inside, but he's got the C4. That's the important part. He understands that time is of the essence. There's only 20 minutes remaining here left in the raid phase. There's only basically, 13, 14 bases still standing. So not too many points left remaining here. But Yogi, once again, making short work of this base. He still needs to go ahead and get through all these doors, though. And we'll see if any other counters can maybe slow things down. Bastard, that is huge for 2-2, who were trying to deal with this base, because now they're getting raided by Armin, and they have to actually pull off their raid, and they're getting pummeled from the side.
Up there, looks like their outer compound wall is immediately gonna be destroyed, and they have to get back. Again, these reses have to come through. Good communication to communicate to the team that there are players coming back. We need your help right here, right now, because already a hole blown in the outer shell of this base. Looks like the inner core, a 2x2, but very heavily armored.
So this is actually pretty big for Too Sexy as well, even though 2-2-2 now no longer being countered essentially on their raid. But that means that it's going to be a 4v4 in that raid. For Bastard, though, they do still have a lot of their base up, right? It's only this one corner of this base that has been cracked open. And for Armin, it was kind of a wing and a prayer, hoping that the TC would be on this side. I kind of feel like with Dome being that close to them, that they might have actually put TC on that side. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into things, but as we go back to the Too Sexy raid, it does look like they are starting to get some control back. Not roof control, though. Cool is up here for their squad. IDB is still another threat that they have to deal with.
Yeah, there's still some players all around. They've at least, like you said, a little bit able to stabilize because of those other raids going on around the map. But they have some control over the middle. They need to get control back on the roof. Again, the roof is the most important part of the base, on any base, because it not only gives you those angles, it gives you those peak downs, it gives you all the control to move throughout it. But right now, dropping down here, looking through all these triangles here, continuing to look for players and retake control of their own here. On the bottom floor, doesn't find anyone here just yet. Will swing around the corner and shoot his teammate.
That was a lot of C4 that just went down on the Too Sexy base. Jamesy and Nerm are the only ones up right now, and I have to imagine with how much damage has been done to this base, I don't know if they've got the respawns. You have to imagine that a lot of the beds have been dealt with, and Yeah, I think they're just kind of out of bags at this point. They're running in from outside of the compound. So for 2-2, it's a race between them and IDB to see who can try and find this TC. There's still a lot of doors to deal with, though.
There's a lot of doors, but it's like you said, not a lot of beds to work with, not a lot of respawn, so they might have to even respawn outside of the base and run on in, try and find a kit. But now it is this race, a lot of doors here. It is going to be this wall blown on through, nothing behind it, but still so many doors to break through. But this race is very important for both sides. Try and get it fast, use that C4, use that rockets, use everything you have before Too Sexy can maybe try and get some control, or the other team comes and just shoots you out of it.
It looks like IDB actually might have full control over here. 2-2, though Christine pushes in, wins out on the duel. Just needs to stay alive because of the counter of IDB. Now Yogi coming in as well, but Too Sexy finds that opportunity for the defense. Rocket comes in, not going to connect, and there we go, pushing out. This might be the defense for them. No, Nerm ends up falling as Yogi makes his way back into the base.
That's a huge trade there. Finally, it'll be another player taking down 2 seconds. Too Sexy. Jamesy on the outside here of the base, doing a really good job. They're picking up kids. They're finding a way to fight back. They may not have beds. They may not have their base standing, but they're going to keep on fighting here. Huge shots there, though. Continuing trades. Well done.
Yeah, and I think we were correct. I don't think they have any more beds inside of their base. Everyone just running in from the outside, and that is quite terrible. For IDB, though, they are dropping in with the helis. That's how quickly they want to get back to this base. They know they need to catch up. They know that they are pretty far behind the rest of the squads. That it is just a race for this TC. 15 minutes remaining, though. Too Sexy could try and delay things out. They could try to get the plus 40 for themselves.
Yeah, they definitely could, and they need to. I mean, again, it is towards these top dogs. As we get into these 15 minutes, they are going to be the two teams that we have to focus on because they've been the two teams that have been running away with it all tournament long so far. FG, again, we talked about them. They were really good in that attack phase, had some good raids as well, but, they have just slowed down. But we'll take a look at FG here. Looks like some doors kind of opened up in the base, but still a lot of coverage here for the whole base.
Yeah, this looks a lot like those backdoor bases. They don't have a inner peak, and it's just all triangles, all corridors on the inside. And I don't know, if I see this and I don't see a core, I don't see a shooting floor, I don't see inner peak downs, I don't know how much I really want to commit into this, because take a look at how many doors we were able to see just in the last 10 seconds alone.
Yeah, this is not a fun one. This is like a deja vu base. You're going to open up a door. What's behind it? Oh, it's a person.
Defenders. He actually won. FG end up losing out on 2. The difficult thing about this base, though, is trying to navigate it, both for the defenders and for the raiders, right? So it's a double-edged sword at this point. But hey, you take them out, and I honestly imagine that they're not even going to want to attempt that one again.
No, that is not a fun base. That you came here to have fun today, and you open up the door and you find just a bunch of doors. 2-2 though, they actually found the raid on Too Sexy. Finally, it comes through. All of that boom, gonna eliminate the team that defended for so long.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Too Sexy. They tried their best, and honestly, commendable defense coming out for them. They were doing a great job, really, but it came down to kind of the targeting in the defenses, right? Taking apart the roof, making sure that your raid platform is safe from any kind of like rocket PvP or rockets that could take it out from that angle. As we join back on board, it looks like Bastard have been able to deal with their defense. Armin have been evicted. Their beds are gone as well. So a nice little defense coming out from Bastard there. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too late because 2-2 were able to finish off that raid that they were countering initially. But now we are coming down to the final bases, the final 13 minutes here as IDK are getting beset upon by TVSS.
At TVSS, they're not out of it just yet. Still sitting in 5th place. They would need a miracle to get themselves, into the win. But at least it's just about confidence now. Just putting everything you have, putting all the resources you have left, and trying to get a base raid. Now, they got to be careful as a player running on their flank here. That would be a little bit dangerous. They're having to look 2 different directions here. It's going to be kind of colliding. Trading off a little bit of guns. Some nice teamwork here. Beautifully done.
Yeah, TVSS. I think they think they're safe, but they are anything but. IDK with a nice little flank here, and they will put an end to the raid. They should just be able to pick up the boom off the bodies here. There's still one player remaining. Never mind. Steak ends up going down. Zeus goes for the peak. 21 HP. He does at least trade away for one. And now Dumpy coming in from the flank. This is the defense for IDK. Nice attempt from TVSS, but that was a great defense though. Now they can't wait. They have to be ready for this next raid. Take a look. Never win. Trying to push up that hill.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. Never win. They wanna get this raid. If they do, they would put themselves 2 TCs ahead of No Sorry. I think actually for No Sorry, it might just be the play. You said it before. You don't know exactly where the bases are, but if you can figure out where everyone are, if you're No Sorry, if you take them out, pretty much win. I mean, you have no one else in your path to take out, and then never win the other way around. If you take out No Sorry, there's no one going to be able to catch you. But for them, they have the luxury of being ahead. They are 40 points ahead. They can pretty much raid whoever they want. If they get a success off, that's a huge lead for them.
Yeah, either way for never win. I think at this point they are just putting a lot more focus on going for the PvP. They hear gunshots, they're gonna run towards it. That's a 1-for-1. Unfortunately, he did not have the backup of the rest of his teammates. Persia was back there, but he needed a little bit more help. IDK were able to basically deal with this raid platform now and might be able to deal with the rest of the members of Never Win.
And that is the hope. Hopefully can get those trades out. Hopefully, like we talked about, they are on the high ground. But it is actually Team No Sorry, the team currently in second place, who are getting rated Milk. We have not seen them really all day long. And this time they are trying to pour the calcium on their opponents.
And I love this little metagame that they got. They just go ahead and cover all the roof doors with the ladders so that you can't actually push out. And they're just going to go top down on this team. I'd be surprised if, you know, the TC was in core, but this is still going to be difficult for them. Even if they try to go core top down, they have to deal with Honeycomb here along with the pancake layers. So I don't know. I like the attempt though.
It's a good attempt. I like going from the roof. That gives you a little bit of access towards it. We'll see. No Sorry. This is the time for you to defend. Oh, fall off the roof. Sneaking back up here. Laddering. We'll have to drop back down. Just have to go through the bottom. Doors open all around. Milk getting some good coverage. This is a really nice base though, man.
And this is really unfortunate for No Sorry because honestly, like, you're not going to be able to pick up too many PvP kills, right? Like, if they die, it looks like they're actually playing one life with the fact that they're all on the roof like this. So you get 4 PvP points and then maybe you get like 10, 20 on the raid defense. But currently, they're 22 points down from Never Win. So this is one of the worst positions you can be in for No Sorry. Not being able to be a bit more proactive, actually playing on the defense here in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, they're actually, the base is actually to defend this top-down approach. But yeah, it's a rough position. You need to get this defense off, and you need to go swing towards another team, because if not, you're just going to be stuck here. You can max get 40 points for a defense, and it's probably not going to go that long. So they're just in a rough position. It's not a good...
Oh, Naive gets peeked by ADM there. And I mean, it looks like they should at least be able to get the full defense. I really doubt that the TC is going to be in core here with how chunky they built this one up. There's so many advent calendar doors and hallways here on the outside that it has to be on one of those sides for them. So Milk, this is just a Hail Mary play for them. They are getting through the core, but it's still going to be a while because, again, they have to deal with that honeycomb layer. They have to deal, with the pancake layer, and they're consistently worrying about No Sorry still on the defense.
It's just tough. It is so tough to get through here. No Sorry holding their ground right now. They've lost a couple players down to some low HP on the low ground here. But, you know, they don't control their own base. The roof, definitely a major point of power for this other squad. But you know, there's so many honeycomb cores here. It's a tough base to look top down.
Yeah. And again, like you said, Milk is a team that we have not seen basically all day long. So they could just have a ton of boom. But no, they're getting raided right now. ADM actually had to F1, go back to his base. It's VG helping out No Sorry at this point.
want to get rid of the foundation. They want to take this down brick by brick. And this is huge for No Sorry. This is your opportunity where most likely Milk, they're going to have to run back. They're going to have to reset here and try and defend their base. And for No Sorry, you need to get a raid. I think the choice has to be to go for Neverwin if you know where they are and try and just take them out, secure your first place spot. VG, though, huge on the trades.
Yeah, we still have 7 minutes. It's within reach of just PvP, but you need to get a lot of PvP. For VG, though, yeah, I think they are just going to go ahead and continue with this bounty wipe. And I feel like probably the best approach when it comes to the last 7 minutes on board with No Sorry. You can see Milk still trying to deal with this. 3 members are here. They think 1 is going to be enough for the defense, but you can see how much things have slowed down. And now they actually have access to the roof. Or at least 1 door on the roof.
Yep. Hopefully they can open that one up and get themselves down. But again, they don't care about their own base. I think at this point they're low enough on the leaderboard that they say, screw it, we're going for a top team. We're going to commit full towards this raid. And if it doesn't work out, well, then it doesn't work out. We put our all forward.
Yeah, there's only 13 squads remaining here, but they're slowing down quite a bit at this point. No Sorry are still trying to defend. Oh, as he tries to go for that peek, unfortunately, he gets instantly taken down. So, I mean, it's still a really good roof hold coming out from Milk, but you can see that, yeah, this base is just really chunky. There's just so much to deal with. Everything's sheet metal, and No Sorry are consistently trying to go for the defense. But yeah, you have to imagine it has to be somewhere along these walls.
Yeah, I think it has to be as well. I mean, it is a base specifically designed to be defended from that roof. So if you get the roof, it doesn't even matter because it is such a nice chonky base. Oh, breaking down the bottom there, dropping down, but yeah, it's rough. It's a rough base to raid. I don't know if they've run out of boom. Like you said, they have slowed down just a little bit. See what else is going on. 5.5 minutes remain here for these teams to earn some points. And it is once again going to be VG foundationing this already through about a third of it, I'd say.
Yeah, Milk are now starting to pull back their resources. 2 members here for the defense. We'll see if they pull any more back. It is the last 5 minutes. I don't know how scared they feel about their base right now. You see a lot of the advent calendar doors, but it's not the hallways. So they could really make short work of this base as VG. They've got all 4 members inside the breach, but doesn't seem like they have much in the tank in terms of boom. Just going for the rockets again. When you see all these doors, you really do want to just try and get the C4 down, or do they want to just continue with the foundy wipe?
That's a good question. They look inside, they see it's not a lot of doors. We could continue to blow through that, or you could continue with the foundation. It's a good strategy just because it clears out so much, and it looks like they're going to be breaking down some of the doors. They're going to kind of be doing both at the same time. But a foundation wipe is always fun for casters because we just get to see the base like fall apart into pieces.
Yeah, eventually you're just going to have no stability on the base, right? And so, okay, you guys can try and defend from the roof, but we're inside your base right now. We are basically like termites. We are completely rotting it out from the core. But take a look, the rooftop push coming up from Wall Peaker. Never mind, he thinks better of it, and we'll go ahead and back away. Yeah, there are turrets there for the defense, so can't really do much there, unfortunately, for him.
Can't do a lot, can't get up to that roof. Can't get through it. I'm excited to see, though, No Sorry, where they're kind of going with these final 4 minutes because that's all. Oh, nice chunk there taken out from the foundation. Love to see that. Yeah, Milk, they're gonna have to get back. VG, they've been not quiet. Milk dropping down to the low ground, though, getting the first, looking to swing around for the second. Good clear there for Milk.
That might be the defense. That's the 2 members down. There's only 1 player, I believe, on the outside currently. So, yeah. Milk have been able to defend this one. VG are back outside, and No Sorry are actually starting to rear their heads on over here. And they are currently 31 points off. In 5 minutes, if they can find enough PvP, or excuse me, in 3.5 minutes, there is an opportunity. But as we join on board with Bolt, Neverwin are on their next target right now. We do have 2 members inside of the base proper, 2 controlling the compound outside, and both are just struggling to peek outside. 2 members grouping up, but Persia is here. Will he be able to get the double? Get stuck on the ladder, but he's got Mood to help him out. Neverwin. Will they be able to finish today off with 1 more TC?
Yeah, that's the question. And obviously, No Sorry and Neverwin's base is both very, very strong. I don't think they're going to get eliminated. So it is all down to this. If either of them can get a TC, they most likely win. If No Sorry gets one and Neverwin get one, Neverwin probably also wins. So we'll have to see. It is going to be DK, I believe, going in with the raid here. That's what it looks like, destroying the base. And a lot of doors still here, a lot of armor still here. That's going to be the focus. Never win and No Sorry.
Yeah, TVSS were able to do a lot with their base. They were able to seal up a lot of it. Remember, FG put in a lot of focus onto this base, but I'm glad to see that they were able to rebuild quite quickly. But right now, IDK have full control. They've got the roof, and you're seeing respawns on the inside. We'll see if maybe FG want to try and come for the counter. Maybe third time's the charm for them, but with 2 minutes remaining, I feel like this base should be able to withstand. We'll see if they've got the C4 to try and get through this one quickly.
That's the question. Got to get through it very, very quickly. C4, 2 minutes remain, though. Neverwin still holding down a 36-point lead. Them, that's going to be huge. Again, if they get another TC2, that would be nice. Team Milk no longer at their base. Looks like they have kind of dipped on out. Gone back. It looks like actually it is going to be No Sorry on the defense. So once again, what do you do here? Do you give up your base in hopes that you go for the win, or do you come back and defend and realize that there's probably no way you're going to catch up to Neverwin?
Yeah, I believe Milk were able to leave one player up top, basically on the roof. Beckham has been there essentially. I think as they were dying, they just went ahead and respawned back at base. So they maintained control here, but there we go. They're going to go ahead and block off the roof once again. Again, I love this play. This is something that you do have to consider yourself, like when you're playing in regular vanilla Rust, that, hey, a ladder is actually an extremely strong tool, not just in the raiding, but in the defense as well, or in defending the raid as well. So cutting off those doors, make sure they don't have access to it is incredibly strong. We saw, I believe, one member of the defenders actually try to Jackie out some of the ladders because that's how much of a nuisance it was. They had to deal with those ladders.
Have to deal with them, but you got to deal with under 1 minute left for all of these teams. Neverwin still holding down a very, very strong lead. They're raiding as well. So as we approach this final time, I mean, they've been in a race with themselves and No Sorry. FG also somewhat keeping themselves in the race, but still behind about 100 points. Pretty impossible to get up to now. With 25 seconds left, we'll see if they can find one more. They're going to ladder up into the core here and see if they can maybe break down some of these garage door walls as well. Some other raids going on over here. It is going to be the TVSS base that has, like you said, been fully armored back up, fully ready to go.
Oh!
TVSS, like I say, it smite them. Oh, IDK, they take them out right before the bell. The 3 seconds left, that is going to be it. Neverwin did such a good job running through it all tournament long, and they will be your winner.
That's so unfortunate for TVSS. They did some great defenses throughout the raid phase there. FG tried time and again, maybe 2-3 times to go after their base. They had to counter and defend up against multiple squads as well. But ultimately, man, in the last 10 seconds, a nice little snipe out there. But it's going to be Neverwin, like you said, taking that first place position. Not too far behind them, though, was No Sorry. It was basically the story of these two teams. Neverwin and No Sorry, since the beginning of the raid phase, we're just trading that first place position away back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, they were just never giving it up. Neither one wanted to concede it, but 5 successful raids there from Neverwin. It's going to be 2 successful raid defenses as well. A very good KDA, 214 kills. They'll be taking home the dub, but number 2, No Sorry, very close. Like we talked about, this team very consistent. 4 raids completed, 4 raid defenses as well, and a super positive KD as well.
I feel like those 4 raid defenses actually might have been a huge difference maker. We don't know how many points they get off the raid defenses, right, from each one, but that does mean that's less time for you to go out and find those PvP kills. I mean, imagine the time that you spent trying to go for the raid defense. Maybe you pick up 3, 4, 8 PvP kills throughout all of that, and maybe like 10 raid defense points, but you could have been a little bit more proactive. That could have been a TC. So a lot of the time spent on the defense could have been the huge difference maker. So it was really unfortunate for No Sorry that they were kind of confined to their base for the last 20 minutes. But hey, still good effort. Really, the fact that they were only within, about 27 points shows how extremely tight this race was.
It was really, really tight, and you got to give props to them for giving second. But got to talk about our third place team next, FG. This team did a really good job. I think all throughout, again, you can see down there the hard point control time, 2 minutes, 53 seconds, 100%. All theirs, it seemed like throughout that attack phase, they were definitely pushing towards that, getting points there. But also, we talked about it. A couple in the past couple weeks, the teams that have held the hard point just haven't found their raid targets early on. FG still found 2 successful raids, a raid defense and 161 kills. Not bad on the day.
I think, the really unfortunate thing for FG was the simple fact that they kind of ran into the brick wall that was
Yeah.
TVSS on that defense. And they tried two unfortunate attempts at trying to go after TVS's base, and were not able to actually take it down. That was maybe half the raid phase that they spent in trying to deal with that base. And so, unfortunately for them, that they respawned and made the targets of TVSS. But taking a look at our fourth place squad, 222, not to be outdone, weren't really too far behind them.
No, they were not. They did a good job. 3 raids completed. That is very well. A barely positive KD, but still positive nonetheless. But yeah, those 3 raid completed definitely stand out to me as well. No hard point control time. And they got 69 doors destroyed.
Yeah, we saw them as well. They didn't put too much effort onto that hard point. They did go for the early objectives in the heli crates. We got to see that fight earlier on as well, and that did work out for them. I believe it was just kind of how this map ended up working out, right? Because we had so many teams, everyone was so spread apart. It was really hard for teams to kind of chain a lot of their raids because
Right.
there was so much distance between all of these bases.
Yeah, there was so much bases, there was so much space, there were so many teams in general. It was just such a fun day of Rustoria to watch, especially and all these teams that made it towards the end, even if they didn't, get the points or whatever they want. I hope in the end they had fun.
Yeah, I definitely had fun. Again, this was a completely different experience. It was kind of it was really nice because the importance of every single life here in 4v4s is just so much more, right? Every single life, every single player, every single death matters a lot much more, right? There's less room for error when it comes to these raids, and we got to see why that was a huge difference maker in a lot of these defenses and in a lot of these raids.
That did make a huge difference, Armin. They come in 5 here. 3 raids completed, still not too bad at all. A little bit less kills than some other teams, but they will round out our top 5. And again, congrats to them for getting up towards that spot. Neverwin, though, they're the team that will be taking home the number 1 dub. And that's just really good. Again, we talked about them. They were just back and forth all day long with no sorry, but they take the dub.
Yeah. And I honestly do believe, for a lot of teams, like you said, right? Hard point, it's great. You can get the points, but setting yourself up for success, that first minute, never win, no sorry. A lot of these teams were ready for their first target, really able to snowball and gain that extra sulfur, that extra boom to continue on with the raids. We see that during the attack phase, maybe you top off around 70, 80 points. The real difference maker is the raid phase.
It is a difference maker for sure. But sadly, I think that's pretty much all we have for EU. Before we send it off, though, I got to give a huge congratulations. I need everybody in the chat to hype up for my fellow co-caster Jamerson, who is expecting a baby.
Yeah. Really excited about that one. That means less time for rest, less time for games, but still, I'm really excited. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, we're happy for you, and we're happy to have you, honestly, as well. It was such a fun day of EU Base Invaders. Obviously, Base Invaders not done for the day just yet. There will be NA later. It'll be Ray and Birds and Mr. Squid about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you won't want to miss that one as well. Any final words, Jamerson, before we throw this one off?
Nah, again, really excited. Love doing these Base Invaders. So thank you, Rustoria, and thank you, Rusty Pod, for making all this happen.
Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to obviously our producers, Kaz and Ian, for getting the best video feed out to you guys. And a thank you to everybody that was watching over in Twitch chat, along with the players that participated today. Thank you guys so much, though, for watching Rustoria Base Invaders. I've been Llama77 with Jamerson. Thank you so much, and have a good day.